Everyone. Sorry, I am dying right now, but hey, YouTube night. Hello, let's go. YouTube night, let's go. I am dying, by the way, but I think I'm feeling a little bit better now when it comes to coughing. Konti na lang, maybe. I'm not gonna speak a lot, maybe, but I will see. No. let's see though. Let's see. Let's watch some. Oh shit! YouTube nights and all that. Lolari. I'm telling you guys. I haven't tried the Lolari just yet. Still here with me. Probably I'll drink it later. Maybe while I'm watching Joe's stream. Maybe while I'm working. Maybe. Okay. Let's start. Okay, let's start. Neon Genesis Evangelion in in 5 minutes.
I wonder when my dad reached out to me after he abandoned me 14 years ago. What the?
Shinji, get in! Shinji, a giant monster is attacking the city. We built this giant robot so you could fight it.
I thought my dad wanted to reconnect and get lunch or something.
No, I actually hate your guts, but you're the only one that can pilot this thing. Get your butt in my robot.
No! I will never pilot this thing!
All right, get the other pilot instead.
God damn it, I'll do it. Okay, I'm inside the Evangelion entry plug and I'm ready to go.
LCL liquid filled. Launch Unit 1!
Alright, let's get acquainted with these controls here. Shinji sucks.
Wait, look! It's going berserk!
We've done it!
He's gonna self-destruct! Dude, that's awesome. You beat the angel. However that happened. Now you can relax here at home.
Wow! Wait, I live with you?
Yeah, but don't worry. I won't take advantage of you or anything. Oh my god, I was just joking.
Was that a penguin?
New pilot's here.
Asuka's arrived.
Who is this geek? I've got
It's hot though.
the unit next to this dork.
Is Kaji?
Oh, hey, Masato.
What are you doing here?
Misato
Oh,
is
just escorting
really
Asuka here, not Adam.
Who's Adam?
So you kids living with Misato now?
Yeah.
You still toss and turn in bed?
Ew.
God, who says
no.
that? Listen, more monsters are coming, and all of you need to learn to work together.
Together?
Damn, the freaking what's it called? The budget.
Sup, Shinji? Good job fighting those monsters.
Thanks, Toji. Sorry I crashed that building with your sister in it.
It's all good.
What's happening? Man, I forgot most of the Evangelion
Man, fighting these monsters is tough.
They're called angels, moron.
Yes, it is tough. That's why America's sending us another Ava unit to help you guys out. Oh look, here it comes now.
That thing looks messed up.
Nah, it should be all good. Oh, never mind, it's an angel. Go ahead and kill it, Shinji.
All right, I will, as long as there's no pilot inside.
Oh man. No! This was my chance to prove I'm the best pilot!
Shinji, it's all on you.
There's no one I know in there, right?
Ray screamed!
Confirmation it's not one of my friends in there?
Still trying to get more info.
Our pilot cannot function. Activate the dummy plug autopilot system.
What's going on? Stop! No!
Damn.
Oh, okay, the pilot's still in the plug. We can still help him.
Shinji, nobody told you. Oh my gosh, the pilot of Unit 3 was your friend.
Wait, you mean Toji, right?
Yeah, Toji.
I'm never piloting Evangelion unit again!
You disappoint me. I assume we'll never meet again.
Dad, you suck! I like Mom better than you, and she's been dead my whole life! I'm so done with these guys. They probably won't ever even need me again anyways.
Not so fast, Doomcock. I'm not losing this time. I'm better than that Shinji nerd.
Shinji, what are you doing here?
Just refusing to pilot an Evangelion unit ever again. What about you?
Gardening.
Tight.
Gardening's all I can do, but there's something more important that only you can do.
Like what?
Well, there's a being called Adam held beneath Nerf headquarters, and if that angel comes in contact with it, it'll trigger the annihilation of all humanity. So maybe try to not have that happen.
They probably don't even need my help anyway.
There goes Ray with a nuke.
And in 2 minds, that'll kill her!
Freaking budget.
Oh, dang, that failed.
Fine, I'll do it!
What are you doing here?
I am the pilot of Evangelion Unit 1! Dad!
The batteries run out. Come on, come on.
Come on, come up with Naira in the watch list. I don't know.
Come on.
It's a new skill list, so you know.
Ew, what the? It's finally happened. It's become self-aware.
Yes, I love this. For mysterious reasons, I love this.
Shinji! Oh my god, Shinji, you merged with the Evangelion! Where are you, Shinji?
Anywhere can be heaven if you choose to live.
Shinji, where were you? Let's go. Just what the hell is an Evangelion?
I'll show you. This was the room where we first made Ava. In this room, Shinji, your mother disappeared and was absorbed into Unit 1.
What?
She believed this project would save humanity. Many have tried to stop us, including Kaji, who was actually a spy for the Japanese government. We just had him killed a few minutes ago.
What?
Kaji died? No, he didn't. That didn't happen.
You think that's confusing? Hold on to your butt. Remember when Ray blew up earlier? This is where we will get her another body or whatever spare parts she needs. Ray has a soul, but these are empty vessels.
Ray's a clone?
Hold on, you're losing me.
Inside each Ava is a salvaged human soul. Ray has one too, but these are empty husks. They have no right to live.
Okay, so my mom's soul is probably in Unit 1. Wait, what are you doing?
They're just things. They have no souls, so I'm destroying them.
This is weird. I'm out. Nothing makes sense anymore. I don't know where to go next, and I definitely don't have any friends.
Are you
Oh my
Shinji?
god, he's
How do you know my name?
fucking
Everyone
cold.
knows your name. You're like the most famous pilot ever.
Wow, thanks.
The way you said thanks has affected me so much.
This is gay time.
I'm sorry. I like you. I would love to be friends.
That sounds great. Let's be friends forever.
We say they created Nerve to serve us.
However, now it is only serving Gendo.
That is super lame. We must take
So
Nerve
gay.
back.
Good thing we sent the final angel in human form right into Nerve headquarters.
Yeah, that was a good idea, Scott.
Thanks, man.
Let's get the show on the road.
An angel is controlling Unit 2!
An angel?
He can't be the last angel. That guy was my friend.
Lame. Anyway, go kill him.
I must seek the cursed angel Adam, who's being kept down here. But first, I must give a speech about human sorrow. Shinji, good, you're here. So much for my speech about human sorrow. I guess I'll just merge with Adam and wipe out humanity. Whoosh. Want to see me start Third Impact? Wait, this isn't Adam. This is Lilith. Oh, the old switcheroo. Thanks, Shinji. I wanted you to grab me. You should kill me. Karu, why? Because I'm an angel sent to wipe out humanity. But I just fell for the old switcheroo, so maybe I should die.
Damn, this is like really spoiler
I think all
territory.
of humanity should be best friends forever.
Are they gonna do the...
Because he was a secret monster? Right, where am I?
Oh my
Yeah, okay,
god,
I know what it
that freaking episode.
Why is this kid always fucking naked? Instrumentality is beginning. Don't ask me how, but that was our master plan. To merge all souls together and eliminate loneliness. So the guy's gotta be naked? Shit's about to get weird.
This photography is making me realize I'm very lonely.
Why do you pilot Ava?
Because I'm a little bitch and I can't really do anything else. Rain sucks, evening sucks, morning sucks.
Hey, look at this.
But that's me floating. This is weird.
Hold on, look. See, now you're walking around. Look at that.
Did we run out of money
Wow,
to finish this?
He's trying to show you that you can change your world internally at any point.
I wish someone would have just said that. Maybe if I decide not to be a little bitch, I don't have to be. Maybe I can love myself and tell myself I'm badass. Anywhere can be heaven if you choose to live. And I want to live.
Congratulations.
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 I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm your mom.
Because you look like Ray.
All right, let's wrap this shit up.
Thank you all so much.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Pretty good.
ちょっとあんな終わり方ってある？いや、まずコメントに困るんだよね。全然意味わかんない。もっとさ、ちゃんとわかりやすい別のエンディングを
Oh
用
god,
意す
it's
るべ
gonna
き
be the
だ
freaking
サードイ
movie.
ンパクト、世界の終わりに対する結論っていうか、1が欲しいよね。次回5分でわかる The End of Evangelion きっと前向きなエピソードになるよね。
Did they made it?
多分。
They made it! The end of Evangelion. They did! They did made it! Oh my god! Why are you guys saying it's my birthday? It's not my birthday. Shut up. Shut up. It's not my birthday. Shut up. Shut up. Next one. Elon Musk is an idiot. What?
Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Bankman-Fried. For years, we've all been told that these tech titans are literal geniuses, visionary thinkers who earned their power through sheer intellect. But after what we've seen over the past few months, I think we finally need to admit, once and for all, that these people are fucking idiots. And they have been the entire time. I mean, just look at what's happening. Self-proclaimed real-life Iron Man Elon Musk just went billions into debt to buy his favorite bird website, then fired everyone and announced his new toy was about to go bankrupt. Boy Emperor Mark Zuckerberg just laid off 11,000 people. At the same time, he's wasting $36 billion on a metaverse no one wants to use. And 30-year-old crypto billionaire in shorts, Sam Bankman-Fried, turned out to be nothing but a massive fraud when his crypto exchange, FTX, evaporated into thin air along with billions in regular people's money.
Because it's not November
I hesitate
26th?
to call anyone stupid, As an esteemed public intellectual, name-calling is beneath me, but these people are the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. And that's bad because they literally run vast swaths of our economy. And when we buy into their bullshit, we enable them to fuck us over time and time again. And it has to stop now. Okay, before we get really into it, I want to thank all my supporters on Patreon for making this video possible. If you'd like to join them, head to patreon.com/AdamConover. Okay, off to the races. Let's start with the richest and stupidest man in the world, Elon Musk.
And the title.
For decades, journalists, biographers, and fanboys have described Elon as a super genius who's propelling us into the next century. But his purchase of Twitter proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Elon is a fucking dumbass. Dude bought himself a $44 billion toy and broke it on the first day. Why? Because he doesn't understand a goddamn thing about it. See, in order to buy Twitter, Elon took out more loans than a Florida homeowner in 2007. The company is now on the hook for $1.5 billion a year in interest payments alone. And since Twitter was already unprofitable to begin with, that means that Elon needs a ton of revenue right the fuck now. So he decides, hey, people love those blue check marks, let's make them pay for them. And this is simply staggeringly stupid. I mean, okay, he's right. Speaking as a member of the digital elite, we love our blue checks. I got mine in 2013 when I was on the failed reboot of VH1's Best Week Ever, and I've treasured it ever since. Oh, look at that guy. He hasn't even ruined anything yet. By putting the blue check up for sale, Musk destroyed its entire purpose and lost himself billions in revenue. See, the point of the blue check mark is that it allows everyone to tell at a glance which accounts are run by the actual person or organization they represent. But not anymore. The day the new verified badge launched, Twitter was deluged with verified tweets from George Bush bragging about killing Iraqis, Super Mario giving the finger, and drug company Eli Lilly announcing that insulin was now free. Now, all three of those are genuinely hilarious, but the last one actually caused Eli Lilly's stock price to plummet by 10%, losing them billions in market cap. Which, again, is hilarious, because fuck Eli Lilly, insulin should be free. But as a result, they canceled millions in advertising dollars they were going to spend on Twitter, as did countless other brands. Twitter has spent the last 15 years painstakingly building credibility and trust with brands, so that they felt comfortable enough to, advertise on a service known to most of us as a cesspool of nonsense and hate. And Elon just burned it all down with one of his dumbass flamethrowers for 8 measly bucks. But hey, maybe he can make it up with all of that sweet subscription revenue. Well, let's see. According to the New York Times, about 140,000 accounts signed up for Twitter Blue in the days after launch. So at $8 per account, that means the verification system brought in a little over $1 million in revenue. Use that to pay down the $1.5 billion Elon owes this year, and that leaves, $1.5 billion. Elon would need 187 million people to sign up for Twitter Blue just to pay back his lenders, and he's currently 0.07% of the way there. Good luck, bud. Hope that was worth destroying your company's sole source of revenue. On top of being terrible at math, Elon also fucking sucks at the one thing he's supposed to be good at, running a company. When Elon bought Twitter, he immediately fired half its employees, then realized he needed some of them to, run the website, so he begged them to come back like a desperate ex-boyfriend who thought he could do better. Elon treated people so poorly that the executives in charge of trust and safety, privacy, information security, and regulatory compliance all quit. That might be a problem, since Twitter is currently under an FTC consent decree that requires them to strictly follow privacy regulations when they do things like, say, publish a new paid verification service. I'm not a legal guy, but let me just check what the
before, and now everyone can get the badge decree. Now. It was like, what the fuck?
Here it's billions of dollars in fines and potential jail time. Good luck with the feds, champ. So why is Elon Musk fucking this up so badly? Simple. His carefully crafted public image as a genius innovator has been a con from the very start. Elon didn't found Tesla. He used the money he got from co-founding PayPal, the payment service that sucks, to buy a stake in Tesla. Then he kicked out the original co-founder, Martin Eberhard, and stole Martin's title. Not to mention his car. SpaceX does some cool shit, but they're a government space contractor that makes their money suckling at Uncle Sam's teat. And face it, Elon didn't design those rockets, he just brags about it on Twitter. And finally, there's Hyperloop and the Boring Company. Remember how Elon claimed he invented a new system of transportation that was supposed to end traffic forever?
What is it?
That turned into a 2-mile tunnel in Las Vegas where a Tesla drives you at 30 miles an hour. Yeah, it's pretty slow, but it could be useful if you're too drunk to stumble from the Bellagio to the Circus, I guess. Elon is good, no, great, at exactly 3 things: trolling, causing chaos, and telling everyone he's a genius. And he does all those things on Twitter, which seems to be the only reason he bought it. But you know what? If you're addicted to gambling, you probably shouldn't buy the horse track. And now that Elon runs Twitter, he's running it straight into the ground. The site's become dangerously unstable, and it's already ceased functioning in countries around the world. And I do need to point out that as much as we all hate being on Twitter, it is important as a means of communication.
I don't
It's
really
a vital
hate
link
Twitter
to the
that
outside
much.
world for people living under repressive regimes.
I don't know,
It's
I'm
a
just a
professional
so-so in
network that
Twitter.
millions use to find work. And it's how we figure out if that shaking was actually an earthquake or not. When Twitter collapses, it's going to be an undeniable loss. Oh, Musk is going to be fine. He'll still be a billionaire. But millions of people around the world could soon have their voices silenced just because this dumbass wanted to swing his dick around. Speaking of dumbasses, Mark Zuckerberg. For most of my adult life, he's been described as a brilliant prodigy. Mark created a social network that exploits the data
He's a
of
reptile.
billions of people and built it into an impregnable super monopoly with billions of users. But in recent years, Facebook has fallen on hard times. Mark's been hauled before lawmakers to explain why he stole customer data and undermined democracies around the world. Apple has blown a giant hole in Facebook's profits by allowing users to opt out of having their data stolen. And most importantly, TikTok has been kicking Mark's pasty ass. As a result, Facebook has lost 60% of its value in the past year. So, in a desperate move to prop up his share price, Mark made up some stupid sci-fi bullshit. He renamed the company Meta and has so far spent $36 billion building a new digital world he calls the Metaverse, where you can do something. It's not really clear. Play cards with a robot, I guess. Mark's pitch, though, is that in the future, we're all going to work, live, and play in the metaverse, and Facebook will dominate it, so therefore, you need to invest all your money in Facebook right now. Now, first of all, that sounds like a dystopian nightmare that we should stop at all costs, but don't worry, it's all bullshit. That video was faked on a green screen. The metaverse Mark's actually building sucks ass. I mean, this shit looks like The Sims for PlayStation 2. It is so rudimentary that the big feature they're excited about is, get ready for it, adding legs. Wow, that ought to boost the share price. And once he adds taints and buttholes, there's no stopping him. Oh, wait, never mind. Turns out the legs video was fake too. Mark ain't got no legs. Just as an aside, why the hell did they make Mark the face of this shit? I mean, they have so much money. They could have hired Samuel L. Jackson, or Spider-Man, or a hologram of Betty White. Whose fantasy of the future is to hang out with Mark Zuckerberg?
I
the
really
dude is a
think
robot
that
frat boy programmed to simulate
most of the
humanity.
people in Facebook are, I don't know, freaking Karens and boomers.
I'm sure you are, buddy.
I think
And
that's
soon you'll learn
it.
how to eat them too.
The ribs and the brisket need to be eaten.
Unsurprisingly, Mark's jank-ass metaverse is emptier than his childhood birthday parties. So few people are using Horizon Worlds that Mark had to literally order his own employees to use it more. Okay, so how is it possible to spend $36 billion on a product that you are relying on to save your company and have it be so bad even the people who built it don't want to use it? Well, turns out it's pretty easy if you're a fraud who's never invented anything in your goddamn life. Let's be clear. Despite his reputation as an innovator, Zuckerberg has actually bought or stolen every piece of his empire. When Instagram and WhatsApp started growing fast enough to threaten Facebook's monopoly, he bought them out. When Snapchat refused to sell, he stole its best feature, the story. Oh, and let's not forget that the entire empire was built on our stolen data. Zuckerberg's not a genius. He's a guy who got lucky one time, then used his money to rob and steal his way to the top. But you know what? Suddenly, stealing isn't working anymore. His latest attempt, Instagram Reels, is just shitty TikTok. Everyone knows it, everyone hates it. So for the first time in his life, Mark is trying to invent his way out, and he fucking sucks at it. This month, Facebook announced that they were laying off 11,000 employees. 11,000 real people with real lives lost their livelihoods. But Mark, the guy who caused the disaster by wasting 36 bill on a chat room that looks worse than Wii Sports, he's gonna be fine. When Facebook was founded, Mark gave himself special voting shares in the company that ensure he can never be removed as CEO, even for gross stupidity. The dude is not some programming genius from a Sorkin movie, okay?
Founder,
He's just another businessman bozo who figured out how to stay rich and powerful no matter how much he fucks up. Oh, and speaking of massive fuck-ups, let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. SBF was the founder and CEO of crypto exchange FTX. And until recently, he was considered a wise sage, the trustworthy visionary who was going to usher us all into a utopian future
Is that
of
Adam
crypto
Conover?
finance.
Yeah.
Literally just a few months ago, Fortune magazine was calling him the next Warren Buffett, and he got positive headlines for driving a beat-up old car, sleeping on a beanbag chair, and, you guessed it, planning to give all his money to charity. Now, if you saw my last video, you're already smelling the bullshit. But in this case, Sam's uppance came mighty quick. See, FTX was basically a crypto
the
bank.
salt on this
Real
guy,
people
dude.
deposited
I don't
billions
know
of
if
their
it's
real dollars into FTX to buy
giving me-
cryptocurrencies. But then,
The
when a
vibes
bunch of them
giving
tried to
salt
withdraw their
vibes. I
money
don't know
all at
why.
once, FTX didn't have enough cash to pay. Why not? What happened to all that money? Well, it turns out that Sam had given it to one of his other companies, Alameda Research, to gamble on risky crypto bets. And in the meantime, he had filled FTX's balance sheet with a bullshit cryptocurrency that he invented. Like, imagine if your bank filled its vault with Monopoly money and took your deposits to Atlantic City, and you're starting to get the picture. It was the sloppiest scam imaginable.
still
Yet, just a few
having
months ago,
coughing fits.
investors were hanging
So
on to
I'm not gonna
SBF's every
speak
word.
that
According
much,
to a
but I
glowing
will,
profile of Sam,
still here.
published just a
Yeah.
few weeks ago. On one
Legal
occasion,
birthday.
he wowed the money guys by claiming he was going to turn FTX into a super app where you can do anything you want with your next dollar. You
happy
can buy
birthday.
Bitcoin. You can send money to a friend anywhere in the world. You can buy a banana. Now, I'm pretty sure I can already buy a banana, but the investors ate this shit up. They start going, I love this founder, 10 out of 10, yes! They all probably started high-fiving each other and jerking each other off. I don't know what these fucks do, okay? But then they find out that he was playing League of Legends during the entire meeting. And instead of kicking him out on his ass, you know what they did next? They said that was incredibly impressive and gave the motherfucker $200 million.
Wow, sana all.
Why? That's not impressive. That's
Sana
dumb
all.
as shit. Especially because it turns out SBF sucked at League of Legends. The dude never even got out of bronze rank. But they were like, wow, he can bullshit us and get ganked at the same time? Give him all our money. Okay, let's see. A 30-year-old who sleeps on a beanbag chair is way into crypto and sucks at his favorite video game. That's not a genius, that's just everyone's burnout cousin. And just like your cousin, Bankman-Fried is broke as shit now. Of course, that doesn't hurt him much. His billions were fake to begin with. But the people he convinced to invest? The folks at home who saw his celebrity endorsements, the FTX patches on the Major League umpires, and the Super Bowl commercial with Larry David saying, don't miss out on crypto. They invested their real, actual money, and all of that money is now gone. This motherfucker destroyed people's lives. And you know what? It's easy to look at those people who got hurt and say, well, they kind of deserved it.
Here
right?
is me
'Cause they were
working on
stupid too.
comms.
They got fooled
Yeah.
by this obvious bullshit artist. And I get that.
Though
because
it's private
a lot
though,
of
so I
people
can't really
were
show it.
smart enough to see the truth about SBF and Elon and Zuck
I'll
the
show it
entire
when
time.
the
You don't
time's
need to be a
right.
genius to realize that crypto is a scam, or that the metaverse is incoherent, or that the fucking Tesla tunnel isn't going to solve traffic. Just put a train down there, Elon. It's called a subway. God damn it! You just needed to be a little smarter than those three idiots. And a lot of people were. A lot of you watching this video were. And you were screaming to the heavens about it the entire time. But the problem is, our culture, our entire society is run by dudes like this. Privileged, incompetent men who claim to be changing the world when what they're really doing is hoarding power they don't deserve. And so they designed the world we live in to protect them and elevate them and amplify their message. So our media, our corporations, our government, they all bought these guys' bullshit and then they served it back to us like one of Zuck's smoked meats. Eat up, they said. These men are geniuses. Their shit tastes like candy. And so, can you really blame people that a lot of us believed it? I mean, sure, Elon must be a genius. They said it on the news. And that belief, our cultural conviction in their brilliance, gave them power they did not deserve. Not just money, not just political power, but psychological power over all of us. Like, seriously, I have friends who are literally worried that their kids will grow up trapped inside of Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse because Zuck convinced them it's really going to happen. Cities canceled their transit projects because Elon Musk said the Hyperloop was on the way. Real people gave Sam Bankman-Fried their money because they believed he was building the future of finance. And now that they're inevitably failing, we're the ones who are paying the price. It's our money that's getting lost, our cities and online spaces that are being destroyed, our jobs that are being eliminated while they skip off happily to their next fuck up. The only way the chaos will stop is if we stop elevating and admiring idiots like this. And that is the silver lining to the bursting of this bubble. Sam, Zuck, and Elon haven't been hurt by their apocalyptic failures, but their image has. Everyone, from the media to the government, can finally see the truth. And that's a good thing, because if we remember that these guys are actually dumbasses, we can beat them. Twitter users have figured out that if a man is dumb enough to waste $44 billion to boost his own ego, it's really easy to troll him into wasting even more. The game VR Chat is way more popular than Horizon Worlds, but the team that created it spent a fraction of what Mark did because, you know, they're smarter than him. And Sam Bankman-Fried, well, his exposure as a fraud was such massive news that it's reduced confidence in the entire crypto sector and caused millions of people to distrust other crypto companies as well, which is a good thing because crypto is full of shit. When we think critically about these people, their power evaporates. And it's important that we start to do so. Because here's the kicker. There are millions of them. The mediocre man with rich parents, a bachelor's from an Ivy, and a bullshit vision for the future? I see 10 guys like that every day. Elon, Zuck, and Sam, they're just the ones who got lucky. And as soon as they fall, there will be more on the way. They're just like zombies. They're hungry, they're numerous, and they want to eat your brain because they don't have one. But you know what the best part about zombies is? Once you know how to outsmart them, they're really fun to take down. So the next time some vacant-eyed business boy shambles up and tells you to do as he says because he's going to change the world, remember, you're smarter than him, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Wow.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you subscribe. I'm just getting started with these and I can't wait to make a whole bunch more. Also, check out my podcast Factually and subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/Adam Conover. Thank you so much for
What
your
a
support.
wild venting video. Not gonna lie. Kind of venting video, but sure.
Do some crime. Persona 5 is a game about nasty crime boy, a boy of the
My
nasty
God,
crime
Persona 5
variety
never
who's
stops,
arrested
never
for
ends.
nothing. While on probation, he learns how to stop other people from criming by jumping into their brains and politely smacking them with his crime knife. He forms a mysterious group of phantom thieves known as the Do-Crimers, whose crimest do of all is managing to smuggle a cat with them everywhere they go. The Do-Crimers have two goals. First, correct injustice and get back at those rotten adults. A phrase that does not at all sound weird and unnatural. And second, to tell absolutely everyone that they are the Phantom Thieves. But any good heist needs a crack team of pros, and Nasty won't settle for anything less than the first 8 people who bumped into him. Infiltrate palaces and hang out with your crew IRL to strengthen your personas. Except don't, because you're not good enough for them. You stanky. Raise those stank stats of yours so characters are willing to sit next to you you at the lunch table. But raising stats takes hard work, and Nasty Crime Boy only has the energy to do 2 things a day. Mood. Ignore your do-criming and spend 50 nights sobbing into a hamburger bun, hoping that this burg will finally be the one that convinces Makoto you're sexy enough to not actually date.
Hey kid, did you just eat a whole hamburger? Not bad. Here, take this gun!
But whatever you do, spend your time wisely. Some friends unlock massive quality of life improvements that really have no business being optional, while others are totally worthless. You can also date some or all of them.
That is
Nasty
true.
Crime Boy is pretty
Oh,
charming.
yes,
In
just
fact, he's so charismatic
so
that whenever he falls in battle, the
useless.
other party members will instantly die of sadness. If you want to be icky, you can date multiple girls at once without telling any of them. And if you really want Nasty to earn his namesake, one of them can be your surrogate little sister. But wait, you can go grosser. Have you ever wanted to be domed by a toddler? How about 2 toddlers? Congratulations, go directly to jail.
Can I date a boy?
What? No! That's weird! Feel free to date this alcoholic adult, though. That's totally fine. Stealth your way through the game's awesome opening act, and then
I would
slip slide
date you,
through a
sir.
series of progressively lamer dungeons.
You must have had some serious luck to avoid getting caught until now. That means you must have had the help of a leprechaun! Well, am I right?
Persona 5 is so excited to share its
guys
story
from
with you
the
that it
table.
spoils every mystery before they've even started. Who could your next target be, I wonder? It says, slapping you across the face with the answer and winking as loudly as possible. What? No, get out of here, Haru. We don't have time to make you a character. Quick! Have the do-crimers question their morally light gray justice yet again!
Was it really okay for us to change the heart of Thomas Baby Eater, the inventor of eating babies?
For real. When you say it
For
like
real?
that, I'm not so sure. What do you think, stupid?
Don't worry, guys. Mishima's got this one. I can't keep leeching off of other people. It's time to show the world my true self. Come, Persona! I can't get it off.
Horrible timeline.
It's gonna look really cool.
Horrible timeline.
I am thou. Thou art. Oh.
Well, Mishima's dead.
For real?
Oh, hell yeah,
Mishima,
thank
Are
God.
you okay? Did you know that we're the Phantom Thieves?
Now where are we supposed to find another do-crimer at this crime of night?
Best ending, best timeline.
We go in the metaverse, or we call them palaces, to steal the core of their desires.
Wow!
Their treasure.
I
and
finished
those
this
whose treasure
game.
has been stolen have a change of heart.
We're gonna change the hearts of all the bastards like you.
Now is the time to rise against the abyss of distortion, trickster.
But I finished this game. Nice.
Thank you so much for watching, and a huge thank you to Atlas for sponsoring this video. You can check out Persona 5 Royal right now by using the links in the description
Sana
below. You can
ma-sponsor
get a
din
hard
ako ng
copy or
Atlas,
get a
pero
digital
hindi
download
pare
right
yan.
now and play it during quarantine, kill some time. Persona 5 is an awesome game. If you need convincing, I wanted to play it for maybe like 3 hours again to refresh my memory before making this video, and I ended up playing it for 30 hours instead. Oops! Also, be sure to check out the outtakes and deleted scenes that didn't quite make it into the final cut of the video. Those are over on Patreon, and you can check them out right now.
Syempre, I don't play it. I just finished it. Wow, you guys are like really into Persona videos. What the fuck?
Okay, let me say something before I start. When the first Persona 5 Royal trailer dropped, I was excited. Cute new girl, cool design, sign me up. I bought the game immediately and even paid extra to get it day one. I almost never do this. I waited so long in anticipation. You see, I didn't own Persona 5. I had borrowed it from a friend and desperately wanted to play it again. The second that I got that little on my phone, I dashed to the door and
thought
started
it's
up
my
the game.
phone!
That's the stuff. Fair warning, I am still within the vanilla part of the story. I'm actually about to enter the Diet Building's palace, So, if you haven't gotten to this point, we are now in the salty sea of spoilers. Though honestly,
You never see
if
it
this is spoilers for
coming.
you, what are you doing? I want to like Kasumi. I really do. However, given what I have so far, I don't. I've told some of my friends about this, and I've been told time and time again to just wait for the third semester. The new story stuff towards the end. Now, I fully believe them. I'm sure her story clears up completely, and all will be right with the world.
There's a spoiler warning
But
that
in my
she said.
opinion, it's a little late for that. Hear me out. Kasumi, from the first time that she's appeared on screen, has gotten special treatment. Think about it. When's the first time we see her? She swoops in and saves Main Character Kun's life like a badass out of hell. Her dialogue is pointed but vague, implying that you and her have had an emotional journey together, equivalent to having a rank 10 confidant. I was a little shaky on her entrance, but I was ready to see how she earned her spot onto the team. Yeah, earned it. Fast forward and we do our storyline with her. She is also a transfer student who is pretty and skinny and talented, and naturally people start talking. Well, that's a solid start. But then as we meet her more and more, I kept finding myself wanting more. She's nice to talk to and has the beginnings of an interesting story. She's scared of failure and feels the pressure to succeed, not only from herself, but from her peers. Except, unlike all the other members of the team, we don't focus on that. No, instead, we spend one of her ranking moments finding glasses for her father. Does this add to the story?
Yeah.
But Miss Astrophy, I hear you say.
It is though.
You goof around with Ryuji, the gym and the bathhouse. Yeah, no, I hear you.
It is though.
But
it is. I'm
10
sorry, but
ranks to his
it is
story.
like
We had
relevant
time to
in the
mess
third
around.
semester.
One event in 10 feels a lot less than one event in 5. I am convinced that the writers and developers of this game wanted so badly for us to love her as quickly as possible. Heck, they might have even expected it. And for that, her story suffers. I know that the writing in this game isn't perfect, but it's less obvious because each character has their time to shine, and then they're clicked into their place on the team, and we move on. With Kasumi, it's constantly, hey, she's cute. Hey, look at her. Ah, she's perfect. She struggles, but she does okay. Oh, look at her go. Girl power. And it's never more obvious than her persona awakening. GM. As we understand in this universe, people have expectations and social rules that rule their lives. They are expected to follow said rules, even if it means suffering injustice, all for the sake of keeping the social structure intact. Each character has
That
their
is
own
true
unique
though, but
situation
Kasumi could
that
have
they
been
decide
a
to break
better,
free
so
from.
much better.
They each have this pinnacle moment, break down and say, no, this is not how my life's going to be.
Hello,
and they
Len.
change their own fate. I'm sorry, but Kasumi didn't get that. Let's look what happens. She's told to do good in gymnastics. She tells us that she's been training and has been doing relatively well. Then she goes to a competition off screen and gets 3rd place. 3rd place is good! But then she's told that that isn't good enough. She has to get 1st place if she wants to keep her honor student status. Something that she has stated that she doesn't like very much, just because it alienates her from her peers and gives her special treatment. So, why do we care that she might lose it? She then goes into a palace and she goes, oh yeah? You expect me to do well for you? Well, I'm gonna do well for me. Which is a nice message. It's just a shame that it's completely lost on me since we didn't see her struggle leading up to it. Sure, we see her upset, but it's just for a moment before she has her pinnacle moment. We don't see her suffering. We don't see her feeling hopeless because there's no way out. Because she has a way out. As mundane as this issue is, she can keep training and doing her best, or she could lose her honor student role. But then, when she has her realization, instead of that gritty transformation where she's doubled over in pain as she lets her old self go and rips that mask off, face covered in blood, a beautiful metaphor in its own right, completely gone. No, Kasumi gets to be Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, that happened. I'm like,
no. No. Atlas, I'm not buying it. I don't mean to make this a rant
I was
about
so
how your waifu
confused.
sucks.
I'm like, what the fuck?
'Cause like I said, I love the idea of Kasumi. I just wish her execution was done better, and that she wasn't given such special treatment. Maybe it'll be explained later and it'll make sense, but I shouldn't have to wait so long to find out why she is being treated like this. Also, having a messed up phone is not a personality trait. Women are more than what they carry around in their purse. Okay, rant over. Bye. Also, because of Lucas, fuck Kasumi. All the homies hate Kasumi.
Damn, now that's the real rant video. Oh my god, there's another one.
I am hurt. I am betrayed. For I have been lied to. Before I continue my Shakespearean melodramatic speech, please note that this is a part 2. Check out my first part where I was only halfway through the game. This one is with the full story.
The third
All
semester.
Right. Kasumi did get better. Yes,
Wow!
but
Oh yeah,
it
no?
wasn't that much of an improvement. Now, before we start, we are now very much in the salty sea of spoilers. I hope you have your sanity.
There
or
you
your
go,
life
spoiler
vest,
alert,
because we are
okay?
going head first. Here we go. Let it be said that I like the third semester story. I was so prepared for whatever they added to be tacked on with the, oh yeah, we were also a part of the Shido conspiracy. So I commend them for not doing that, at least. So, what happens? We beat the God of Control, which I still adore cause, wow. The bystander effect combined with the want for one's own dreams makes this weird amalgamation
There's no
of
subtitles,
imprisonment
okay,
and
Benta?
misery.
I retried.
But that's nothing new. We got that in Persona 5 proper. So, we fight, we scratch and claw our way to our victory, and we
There you go,
hug and
I
win!
made it much,
Then, we wake up the next morning, and
louder.
immediately, we are hit with new stuff. No more reds and blacks. Now suddenly there's whites and a strange but alluring rainbow sheen. They didn't hesitate for a second to throw us into the new stuff. Good! You see your teammates and they are now living their best lives, which is great, right? No, absolutely not. This is an anime, dang it. There needs to be angst, because these lovelies are living lies. Dead people are back. Families are complete again, and for some reason, Chat Noir is in here. Huh?
Ow,
Why
I'm a
did you
ladybug throwing claws.
Anyway, everything is too
Why did you call him
perfect.
Chat Noir?
Except you aren't the only one who is unaffected. And who should arrive but Kasumi and Akechi. Wait, Akechi? That guy died for us! What? More on that later, because we've got a palace to infiltrate and a ruler to give a stern talking to. And surprise! It's Maruki! Yeah, that clumsy cute little Dr. Maruki. Remember him? Couldn't hurt a fly if he wanted to, and the snack enthusiast? That was legit a plot twist for me, because I didn't think that the game had the audacity to make a former ally a new problem. But it's great, because it then
What do
poses
you
this moral
mean?
quandary. Is it better to let yourself live in a happy lie
What do
rather
you
than finding
mean?
and building your own happiness in reality? It's a great
Persona-
question. 'cause
Persona-
there's definitely
Persona
a right
4 golden
answer,
spoilers?
but there's a part of the human heart and soul that wishes for the former. Wouldn't it be lovely to simply wish for something? Not anything.
I guess
per
you
se,
haven't,
but
yeah,
something
hasn't,
big,
like, you know.
and it just be fulfilled.
She hasn't,
freaking love
yeah, she
this.
hasn't played Persona 4
Except
Golden,
that
I
brings
guess.
us back to the choice. Like I said, there is definitely a right choice here.
I know,
Maruki just
I
wants
know
people to
that
be
cat in
happy,
French
a
is
noble
cat,
thing,
but
truly. But he
I-
became deluded
I
in
said
his
that
path
why-
to make that happen.
Why
and since he's
she
gotten
called
reality
Morgana Chat
bending
Noir,
power,
I'm
which
thinking
are
of
never
another
truly
Chat Noir.
explained why, he just had to do that. So now it's time for us to save our teammates. And by us, I mean Joker, because for everyone else, agency is not a thing. So you spend the next week breaking your teammates free from their dreams. It's a nice moment where you review yourself on each of your teammates' stories. And for those that you connect with, it kind of hurts to tell them to wake back up. Though I must say that it's undercut
Here goes,
just a tiny bit, because we did the exact same thing. You know, talking to all your teammates and seeing how far we've come and, you know, in the Velvet Room, it's effective. It's just not as effective as it could have been, methinks. No one has woken from their dreamlike state, but Maruki insists that you meet him again. With no other choice, you, Kasumi, and Akechi go back into the palace, and that's when you find out the truth. The reveal here is actually well done, shown in weird flashbacks. Though, I have to admit, the second I saw the sisters' model standing up on the first place pedestal, I instantly said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if that was actually Kasumi? And, it turns out I was right. Realizing that she is living a lie, the girl formerly known as Kasumi freaks out and refuses to live in a world where she killed her sister, the real Slim Sumi. You then have to fight her in this weird tentacle form she's in, and when she's defeated, that's when she has to accept reality as it is. Oh yeah, your teammates come back and save you or whatever. It's a great moment, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Sumire. Oh yeah, by the way, her name is Sumire. So, we as an audience figure out that Sumire was jealous of her older sister, Kasumi. Supposedly, she was more talented and more bold, and people liked her more, which slowly gave into jealousy. In a small fit of said jealousy, Sumire runs away. Kasumi pushes her out of the way of a moving car,
hate how she
is hit and dies.
How she
Sumire then has to live with the survivor's guilt and the self-imposed blame of her sister's death. She then wishes to no longer be in a reality where her sister was dead. In front of the one person who could help her with that. Man, that is incredibly lucky. Now, having Kasumi actually be the older sister and the younger sister Sumire pretend to be her due to jealousy is a fine story. Except when you think about it, it doesn't make much sense. Okay, step back. No, really step back. And think with me for a moment. You have a reality-bending deity on your side, and you can have one wish. Any wish of your choosing to come true. And you chose identity crisis? Okay. I want to bring up some new solutions to light, and let's see if they would hold up any better.
Okay.
Upon reflection, Sumire had two pieces of her wish. The dialogue focused on one, but there's an underlying problem that was always present but never really addressed until the second half of her storyline. What the writing wants us to focus on was that Sumire refused to live in a world where her sister was dead. She wants her sister to not be dead. She can't be dead. Dead, dead, dead. So, somehow, Maruki translated that into making Sumire believe that she is Kasumi. For some reason. But why? Because that would solve her other problem. So, in assuming Kasumi is, oh lord, was that a pun? Identity, Sumire gets both parts of her wish. Her sister is no longer dead, and she gets to be the talented, amazing older sister. But there's two problems with this solution. Firstly, we learn that Maruki's power doesn't actually bend reality. It bends people's perceptions of reality. Sumaire's perceived that she was her sister, and when someone called her by her name, Sumire, she heard Kasumi and answered. Perceiving yourself as better doesn't make you better at something. So, Doc's solution for her wasn't really a solution. Sumire was simply pretending to be something she's not and still suffering for it. But on a more technical side, having Sumire have two problems to face muddies up her story. In classic story writing, you want your hero to have and solve one big problem. There can be many problems that sprout from that one problem, but the main one has to remain the focus. Otherwise, your story becomes confused at best and unstable at worst. Take the Phantom Thieves story. They want to correct society. That's their goal. They come across many problems, including figuring out the big bad, figuring out who screwed over Joker, healing those who are affected, and keeping themselves a secret. These are all problems, but it all ties back to the main goal. So Kasumi's story is trying to have her cake and eat it too. Which one should she have? Well, she could have either. If she wanted to be her sister, then why not delete the real Kasumi from her memory? Or rather, change Sumire's cognition to where she was the only child. Then, in her mind, there's no more sibling rivalry, and Sumire competes for her love of gymnastics and the drive to be better.
That is true.
Rather than trying to keep up with Kasumi, she can even keep the I'm going to compete and do well for myself, even after she figures out that her sister was, in fact, real. Which is something that I think her storyline was originally trying to do anyways. This way, the wish can fulfill both parts, get rid of that pesky identity crisis. Why does Sumeri have a sister at all? What if her wish was simply to be more confident? Have her start off as shy and unsure Sumeri, who's in a slump, and have her meet Haruki, and suddenly she's confident without batting an eye. She wins competitions and people are talking about her because she's the popular honor student who wins. Instantly, we know something is up. Then, when she's forced to recount all of her shortcomings, she remembers her doubts, her fears, the uncertainty of herself. She didn't win those competitions, and people were talking about her, but not in a good way. Then it becomes a moral dilemma to mirror Maruki's. But what if the writing focused on the other half of her wish? Yeah, I got a question, Doc. If you could bring back people from the dead, why not bring back the real Kasumi? Boom! No longer a reality where she's dead. Well, maybe they didn't program a new model. Okay, but then why is this one a thing? Maybe they didn't want to add her to the story. Okay, listen. How much more powerful would it be if we knew both sisters throughout the entirety of the story? Then we could keep up with Sumeri's growing jealousy of her sister. It's not like they didn't do a story similar with Mishima, who almost became villainous with his desire to be more than just a zero. Hell, they could even have the real Kasumi only pop in a few times. You know, like Mika for An. A rival that pops up occasionally to pose a threat of some sort, but isn't present often. Their impact, however, will be shown in how much it affects your confidant. But could you imagine? You know this girl, the real Kasumi throughout the game, and you see the effect she has on Sumeri. You want to help, but don't know what to do, and boom! The car crash happens in the story. It's not some past event, it happens before our very eyes. We got to know the missing figure, and now that they're gone, we feel that weight. It's a payoff for having them in your face from the beginning. But what else could be done? Have Kasumi be alive again, but only in Sumeri's perceptions. At first, play it off like she's a character who will be perpetually off-screen, you know, like Kafumi's shogi opponents. Instead, we just see the confidant, and how it's happening in their life is affecting them. For how the game currently is, everything traumatic has already happened, and she's just refusing to cope and move on. It has a lot less emotional impact than the other teammates. For them, their trauma was happening before our very eyes. For all, except Futaba, whose story strikes an eerie resemblance when you break it down. A member of her family was killed, and she was led to believe in one way or another it was all her fault, leading to the confidant to spiral downwards into a very questionable coping mechanisms. For Futaba, she was ready to throw her life away by becoming a full-on shut-in, to live out the rest of her life in a very slow and lonely death.
Oh
For
man,
Sumeri,
me
it's
too.
not accepting reality, and that she has to be her sister. To me, it's a lot less stakes for her. Her life's not in danger, and they didn't turn her into a palace like they did with the little ginger gremlins, so... It hurts that Atlas has proven that they can pull off a storyline like this, then botch it so thoroughly. So, what if Sumeri was the only one who thought that Kasumi was still alive, and all of her ranking moments were in situations where no one could contradict her? By then, we've gotten to know her, and her very much alive sister. And that's when we start to get hints that something's up. Perhaps Akechi, to make that tie between him and Sumeri a little closer, make a comment how he hasn't seen Kasumi in a while, or thought that Kasumi was gone for one reason or another. Then, lock up her storyline. You can't get the last few ranks until after the reveal, and that's when you start the healing process, just like you do with your other confidants. That way, you wouldn't just be under the illusion that there's only 5 ranks. Or, stranger yet, have her 10 ranks as Kasumi, but then, when you figure out the truth, have the Kasumi ranking card crumble away and boom! There's Sumeri with 10 shiny new ranks to
Wow,
play.
she hasn't played Persona 4 Golden.
In fact, at the end of this, it felt like Sumeri was an accessory to Maruki's endgame story. Though, even that was done by the rest of the team.
That is
But
true though.
You know what really hurts? My solution about having Kasumi being actually dead and wanting to keep her alive was also already done. Because they did it a million times better with Akechi! You've known him since the beginning. You actually bonded with him. He didn't feel forced because he had a story purpose as your rival and betrayer. You want to keep him around, but you can't. So guess what, Mary Kasumi? You got nothing original going on. I like the idea of Sumeri, and she could have been great.
Sarah, P513.
If they
Hello,
did it
Michael.
right. The working title of these videos was The Red-Haired Herring. I did this as a joke because I thought red-haired, red herring. They put Kasumi/Sumeri in your face.
No, it's
so freaking hard.
Catastrophe VA. We're
true.
just watching
So you
a
wouldn't
rant about
pay
Persona
attention
5 Royal.
to the dog.
That's Susanna. Why you procrastinate even when it feels bad? What the fuck? What the fuck?
It's 5 p.m. and you've just realized that report you've been putting off is due tomorrow. It's time to buckle down, open your computer, and check your phone. Maybe catch up on your favorite YouTube channel. Actually, you should probably make dinner first. You usually like cooking, though it's hard to enjoy with this work hanging over your head. And oh, it's actually pretty late. Maybe you should just try again in the morning. This is the cycle of procrastination, and I promise you, we have all been there.
Man, ano ba?
But why do we keep procrastinating even when we know it's bad for us? To be clear, putting something off isn't always procrastinating. Responsible time management requires deciding which tasks are important and which ones can wait. Procrastination is when we avoid a task we said we would do for no good reason, despite expecting our behavior to bring negative consequences. Obviously, it's irrational to do something you expect to harm you. But ironically, procrastination is the result of our bodies trying to protect us, specifically by avoiding a task we see as threatening. When you realize you need to write that report, your brain responds like it would to any incoming threat. Your amygdala, a set of neurons involved in emotional processing and threat identification, releases hormones, including adrenaline, that kick off a fear response. This stress-induced panic can overpower the impulses from your prefrontal cortex, which typically help you think long-term and regulate your emotions. And it's in the midst of this fight, flight, or freeze response that you decide to handle the threat by avoiding it in favor of some less stressful task. This response might seem extreme. After all, it's just a deadline, not a bear attack.
I'm doing a
But we're
donothon
most
as
likely
well.
to procrastinate tasks that evoke negative feelings, such as dread, incompetence, and insecurity. Studies of procrastinating university students have found participants were more likely to put off tasks they perceived as stressful or challenging, and the perception of how difficult a task is increases while you're putting it off. In one experiment, students were given reminders to study throughout the day. While they were studying, most reported that it wasn't so bad, but when they were procrastinating, they consistently rated the idea of studying as very stressful, making it difficult to get started. Because procrastination is motivated by our negative feelings, some individuals are more susceptible to it than others. People who have difficulty regulating their emotions and those who struggle with low self-esteem are much more likely to procrastinate, regardless of how good they are at time management. However, it's a common misconception that all procrastinators are lazy. In the body and brain, laziness is marked by low energy and general apathy. When you're feeling lazy, you're more likely to sit around doing nothing than distract yourself with unimportant tasks. In fact, many people procrastinate because they care too much. Procrastinators often report a high fear of failure, putting things off because they're afraid their work won't live up to their high standards.
God damn!
Whatever the reason for procrastination, the results are often the same. Frequent procrastinators are likely to suffer from anxiety and depression, ongoing feelings of shame, higher stress levels, and physical ailments
God,
associated with high stress.
Oh man.
Worst of all, while procrastination hurts us in the long run, it does temporarily reduce our stress level, reinforcing it as a bodily response for coping with stressful tasks. So, how can we break the cycle of procrastination? Traditionally, people thought procrastinators needed to cultivate discipline and practice strict time management. But today, many researchers feel the exact opposite.
That is true though.
Being too hard on yourself can layer additional bad emotions onto a task, making the threat even more intense. To short-circuit this stress response, we need to address and reduce these negative emotions. Some simple strategies include breaking a task into smaller elements, or journaling about why it's stressing you out and addressing those underlying concerns. Try removing nearby distractions that make it easy to impulsively procrastinate. And more than anything, it helps to cultivate an attitude of self-compassion, forgiving yourself and making a plan to do better next time. Because a culture that perpetuates this cycle of stress and procrastination hurts all of us in the long term.
Speaking of forgiveness, how good are you at apologizing? Learn what it takes with this video. And for more actionable, science-based advice on how to build character,
I'm very
visit
bad at apologizing, not gonna lie.
ed.ted.com/build character.
I'm very bad at it. I'm pretty bad at saying sorry most of the time, so you know. So yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm sorry too. I also watched this before. Hi, my friends are over, so I thought it's time to go to the donothon. Aw, thank you, Timson. How's your exam though?
웅크린 모습 고개를 저어도 늘 같은 자리에 닿지 않는 너 나 홀로 상상해 빛이 나는 너 옆에서 나 So black like as it can be 다가가면 갈수록 깊어지는 듯이 Like a black black sorrow A story of such war 이 이야기의 끝에는 이름을 들 시린 자리와 텅 빈 공기뿐 너의 눈길 닿는 곳에 네 손길 스칠 곳에 하염없이 너만을 기다리고 검은 어둠 속 붉은 빛 모래시계를 돌려 긴 시간을 놓아 So black like as it can be 다가가면 갈수록 깊어지
royal skin. Oh, he has fangs. I like him. He's hot because he has fangs. Banger. Banger from Vivenus once again, you know. Note, if you still have any plans on playing Honkai in the future, then I suggest that you skip all of these videos because they're all major. Why are you guys giving me Honkai Impact videos? What the fuck? Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna even play Honkai Impact, so, you know. Oh damn, I like her already. Whoa, the camera angle. She's hot. Who is she? Diana? This version, what's the name? Diana Caslana? Oh. She's hot. Virtue of the Void. Oh, she's hot.
Jinrui. 存在そのものが間違っている。戦争、欺き、嫉妬、貪欲。人類のせいで私は全てを失った。でも今日私は全てを飲み込む。私が崩壊なのだ。
Oh my god, he said the name! He said the name! Honkai! What is Honkai? Real! He's hot though.
On and on that wax and we showed this
Raiden Shogun. But she's hot though, that one. So hot. What's the one on the icon? Is that Kiana Kaslana or what? I don't know. Pretty good though, pretty good. Damn, she's hot, true. Hi na, Simon. Simon Rowe. Wow, kung may bumabalik na sa'yo. Oh my god. I forgot her name. Ron. Wow, the censoring. Thank you. What is this? Attack on Titan plot? Wow. Pretty good though, pretty good too. There's still more. Oh god, it's all credits. It's all just credits. Why is it called Honkai Impact the Third? Where happened to the first and second? Oh my god, there's more! It's Kiana, right?
私にできることは限られてチャンスをつかむキアナ。
Oh, it is Kiana. Prodigy.
ここまでだよ。
What the fuck is Fuhua?
嘘だありえ
That
ない
girl? That's
あなた
Fuhua?
たちちゃんと言うことを聞きなさい
くそ
あなたたちこのバカたわけがどうして邪魔をするどうしてあの役立たずを助けるどうしてそもそもあなたたち敗者のくせに
The great girl, Fuhua?
これは委員長の。
キアナ力を抑えて教えたことを思い出すの
神なる
もの
変化の極みなり。
万物に妙にして剣を持ち剣を持って離すべからざる者なり
廃墟研究神運。
負けてたまるか
委員長敗者なんかじゃない。
ありがとうキアナ律者は私に任せなさい元凶はもうすぐ解除されるもう帰って今回はおそらくさようなら
待って委員長他にも方法が。
そうかもしれないしかしこれが私の使命
Tidak betul lagi si Fuhua. That's also Fuhua. Ano ba yan?
もういい。またなの。犠牲の上での勝利だな。私は嫌だ。委員長、返して。
The music is amazing. I'm gonna like.
聖英戦僕は嘘をついてない
私はたくさんの裏切りと嘘を味わいました
委員長、私は嘘をつかないよ。律説はここまでのようです。
信じてくれた人も私のせいでいなくなりました
私は強いからそんなの心配ないよ。
どれだけ努力しても歳月の流れにはかないません結局私は一人ぼっちです
一人ぼっちにさせないから。
Waiting for the one to find
解されたらうるさい。ならもう一度倒せばいい。私から逃げるなんて許さないから。
That's what I remember, the Fua. That girl. That's Fua, right? Fua, right? Because I remember. I remember that. I remember because I have a friend who is like really into Fua, and that's the one that I remember. That version. Yeah. Just so many forms. God damn. Here's the last one. Yana again? I know Alicia because I saw it from a League of Legends Beryl, I think. He wanted to make Ash like Alicia, the moon's wife.
Naniを邪魔する気?
Wow! Diba? Paano magkasya yung braid niya dun sa hoodie niya? I don't get it.
あんたたちの相手をしてる暇はないの。
There's a voice.
He's definitely dead. 約束したもんね。 一緒にこの完璧じゃない世界を私たちの望み通り変えてみせる。これが私の約束。
What is reflected in my eyes? Another moonlight in a starless midnight. The showers on the people passing by. One is so small when the world's so wide. Every step forward that goes aside. I reach out for the halo far up high. Deeply engraved my memories. Some will not forget, and indeed, someone has come before is waiting me. Cause I remembered all the tales written inside this world, no more freedom.
Paano nagkasya yung braid niya?
My heart used to believe. Crash against the barrier of the ground. Burning up pieces in the air, show up and start fall. I want on tomorrow, yesterday. These sparkles shining, never fade till the break of day.
Hey, hey, hey. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna play Honkai Impact, but that was pretty good. That was pretty good. What is this?
Hey folks,
I
I'm
wanna fucking die
Demotro,
now.
and welcome back to my combo classroom. Or today, I guess, my little combo corner or whatever. I'm filming this lesson indoors because it's a little hard to film in an outdoor classroom when it's raining. Hey folks, welcome back to combo class. I'm here.
You can't write shit!
Whoa! Whoa! In any case, today I want to teach those of you who don't know about the level beyond exponents, a level called tetration that's not taught enough in schools and not talked about enough in general. In fact, there's not even a good standardized notation for it, but it's a powerful tool and something that might pop up in our future lessons, so I want to make sure you understand exactly what tetration can do. Now, when applying operations between numbers, it might seem like there's many possible levels beyond exponents that you could go to, but really there's one that's the most logical, and that's because exponents themselves come in a kind of chain of operations, and we're gonna start way at the beginning of that one, even before addition, on one called succession, meaning just adding one to a number. Might seem too basic to be useful, but when you're defining arithmetic, it's good to start at the most basic level possible, which is going to the successor of a number. Now, addition is repeating that succession operation a certain amount of times. Like A plus B means A plus B times you do that succession operation. Now, moving past addition, which we can consider like level 1 of this chain, on to level 2, multiplication.
I like his
we essentially need to
though.
just repeat the last operation again. A times B means B times we are adding A's. And going from level 1 to level 2 does have some changes, like the additive identity element that doesn't change things is 0, whereas the multiplicative identity element is 1. So there are some differences on these levels, but in many ways, multiplication is just repeated addition. Now, to move from the second level of multiplication up to level 3, exponentiation, all we have to do is repeat the last operation. Instead of now making B copies of A added, we're making B copies of A multiplied. Because A to the power of B really just means A times A times A, B times. We've repeated the last operation. Now to move up from exponentiation, which we're also going to add a new notation for, because using these upward arrows can be a way to signify these further hyperoperations. Exponentiation meant B copies of A multiplied, so why not take B copies of A as exponents? And that's exactly what tetration is, repeated exponentiation, making a tower of A to the A to the A to the A B times. And some of the notations used to write this tetration can be using 2 upward arrows, like how an exponent used 1 there, or like using an exponent on the front side instead of the back side to mean A tetrated to B. And we could take this further and go to level 5, pentation, where we repeat tetration, A tetrated to A B times, which can be written with 3 upward arrows or a little 3 next to the arrow or other ways. Like I said, there's unfortunately not really a standardized notation for these things. And we could even go to hexation and onward. But tetration itself back on level 4 can make such massive numbers that we're barely gonna need to dabble in these ones today. One quick clarification is that these tetration towers read from the top downward. Like I do that part first and not that lower part first. And some people don't think that would make a difference. And maybe that's because they tried this simplest example of it. Because with 2's, they're equal, whether I do 2 to the power of that or that to the power of 2. But with most other cases, like with 3, they're not equal.
Thank
to
you.
the power of that, which
Thank
is
you, bro, for the
27,
raid.
is
Thank you,
different
thank you.
than
Yeah,
27 to the power of 3.
I'm sorry,
so
I
if
am
we
a
see a
bit,
tetration tower, like A to the A to the A to the A, which could be written like that, you'd first do that part, then
Bro,
apply
thank you so
it
much
to
for
that,
the 11
then
months.
apply
Thank
it
you,
to
thank
that.
you. Oh my god,
An interesting example of how it matters which order you read these is that although 3 2's doesn't matter, 4 2's read downward is the same result as 5 2's read upward. Both of them are this number in the 60,000s. Now, to see how powerful these different operators can be, let's play some games with numbers. Our first game will be with a given operator and endless of some number, how big will it get? Well, on level 1 addition, even the number 1 added to itself infinitely many times would approach infinity. Same with larger numbers. But funny enough, on level 2 multiplication, multiplying one by itself, no matter how many times you do it, it stays stuck at 1. It takes 2 or larger in multiplication or a larger level to approach infinity. So it seems like maybe 2 is the number it takes to start growing endlessly. Or is it 2?
I'm trying to.
Well, in our second game, we'll apply a given operation to just one of a number and another of itself and see what we get. If our numbers are 0, added to itself or multiplied to itself is still 0, and past that we get an error. We can't take 0 to the 0th power or 0 tetrated to 0 or anything like that. 1, if we add it to itself, we get 2. But that's higher than the future levels because 1 times 1 is just 1, or 1 tetrated to 1, or future levels is still just stuck on itself. Now 2 plus 2, we get up to 4. It hops up a bit. But it stays there. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 to the second power is 4, 2 tetrated to 2, or any of the future ones end up just being 4. So in this game it takes 3 to grow, and 3 can grow pretty massive.
There you go.
3 plus 3 is 6. Times 3 is 9.
I didn't
3 to
realize.
the third power
Sorry.
is 27.
Thank you,
3
though, for
tetrated
pointing
to
out.
3, it means 3 to the 27th power when you break it down, and we'll
That
see in a
movie will
minute
be
how
a piece of
massive
it, or I
that
hope
is.
so, though.
3
I'm
pentated
still,
to
like,
3 would be a
scared, so,
tower
yeah.
of 3 to the power of 3 to the
What is
power
that
of
face on the
3's, the
bottom
size
right?
of 3 to the 27th power amount of 3's, and past that would just be insane. Now, looking back just at tetration for a moment to see how big that operation can make small numbers get, we're going to see what happens when we take the numbers from 1 to 4 tetrated to the numbers up through 4. And remember, this would mean the number to its own power, this would mean the number to its own power with 3 in the stack, and that would have 4 in the stack. We've seen that 1 just stays stuck on 1, and 2 tetrated to 2 is 4. But if we allow 2 tetrated to 3, meaning 2 to the 2 to the 2 from the top down, we get 16. And a stack of 4 2's, we get that number.
Fuck,
starting
my brain
to grow,
hurts.
but not as fast as 3 can grow. 3 tetrated to 2 is 27. 3 tetrated to 3, which would be 3 to the 27th power, is that number. And 3 tetrated to 4 has that many digits. 4 tetrated to 2, we are already at 256.
I like
4
that he
tetrated
doesn't
to
use
3 is
any
bigger than the
freaking
number
digital thing.
Google,
He
and
just
4
used a
tetrated to
goddamn
4 is
whiteboard.
bigger than the number Googleplex. Now let's take a brief peek at the level beyond tetration, pentation, and see how absurdly large that would make numbers. So 3 tetrated 3, which we're using the arrow notation now to make it more similar to future levels, is that massive number. Well, 3 pentated 3 ends up breaking down to 3 tetrated to the amount of 3 tetrated to 3. So we have a stack of 3 to the 3 to the 3's that's that many copies tall. Even pentating something to 2 can be massive. Kind of like multiplying something by 2 adds its own number to itself, or taking something to an exponent of 2 multiplies its own number to itself. Pentating something to 2 tetrates its own number to itself. So 5 pentated
his
to 2
handwriting is
is
actually
that
pretty good.
monster. And interestingly, we do know that
I'm
the
sorry,
last
I
digit of
gotta
that would have to
appreciate
be
the
a 5,
handwriting.
because the last digit of any power of 5 ends up being 5. But the first digit is something so difficult to compute that I don't know if humans will ever know it. The massive size of all these
God,
hyper
can you
operations
not do
beyond
that?
just
Can you not do the pi
makes
one?
it so something like pi tetrated to 4
Who
is
does
so hard
that?
to calculate details about that for all we know, and we have no reason to suspect that this would be the case, but for all we know, it could be some fraction or whole number, because
I'm
it's
not
so
a
hard to
nerd.
compute any details about. Now, instead of looking at pentation and beyond, what if we looked at tetration, but with an infinitely tall stack? This is my unofficial way of writing that. More formally, we might write something like the limit as n approaches infinity as we tetrate a to n. Well, 2 or 3 or 4 will obviously spiral up toward infinity. But 1, even if we make an infinitely tall stack of them, stays at 1. So are there any
Me
other
staying
numbers
away in
maybe
math is
in
already saying
between
that I'm
1
not a
and
nerd.
2
See, I
that
told you.
converge to some finite value, even if we make their tetration stack infinitely tall? There are, and one fun example is the square root of 2. Now, if you're not comfortable taking things to exponents like that or don't understand that, just trust me or your calculator
you wear the
here.
nerd glasses.
If you take the
What do
square
you
root
mean?
of 2
It's not
to the power
nerd,
of
okay?
itself,
It's just
you get
glasses. You
somewhere
don't know how
around
versatile
1.63.
glasses is, especially
If
how
we take it tetrated to
circular
3, meaning
rounded
it to its own power to
glasses.
its own
Like, come on.
power, we get slightly higher. If we tetrated it 10
Not a
times, we get pretty close to 2. And the more we stack, the closer we get to 2. So the limit as we approach infinity of them stacked is 2. And with the right values tetrated infinitely many times, we can even make a convergent result a bit higher than 2, but not higher than the maximum convergent value, which is E, the classic irrational number, around 2.7-ish. That's the maximum that any tower like that that's infinitely tall can converge to without
you're a nerd.
diverging up
But I'm
toward
saying that I'm not a nerd.
infinity. And if you thought it was weird that the number E popped up there, you're not going to believe
you and I
this.
are not the
The
same.
range of values that we could tetrate infinitely many times and have it be a convergent finite value is when that number is between e to the power of negative e and e to the power of 1 over e, or about 0.066 to 1.44. Above that as our value, and we'll diverge toward infinity with the infinitely tall stack, and below that it'll do a divergent thing as well. But in that range, it'll make some convergent finite result, even with the infinitely tall stack. And that's the last whiteboard I brought in here, but I think it stopped raining now, so let me head back outdoors to my combo classroom to tell you guys about our last tetration topic of the day.
Oh my god.
All right. That's fine. I can't draw this next topic on a whiteboard anyway, so let me just explain it. One last cool thing tetration can do is tetrating complex numbers. Numbers that are partially real and partially imaginary. And don't worry if you understand what it would mean to tetrate a number like that. You can just take a peek at these beautiful fractal patterns that are generated when we tetrate a complex number and color code it as to how fast it diverges toward infinity at certain points or doesn't. I couldn't make these pictures myself. I don't know how to. These are a few from Wikipedia, and they're similar to the fractals that we get with the classic Mandelbrot set, which takes a certain type of exponentiation in the complex plane. So, as we can see, tetration can do a lot of cool things. Thank you for joining me here today in and out of combo class to learn about some tetration and the further hyperoperations, and I'll see you next class.
I wanna die. I wanna die. Rain is a pretty neat, but I wanna die. It's oh, I watched this before.
Don't you know what just happened? You sure we got that clue? How bad this we go?
Ow! Why? Why are you bothering me? An evil person submitted this video. I know.
I've been storming where this go to cold. Seems like it crept out of nowhere. All around you is not what to foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind
let's go. Let's go.
You're done.
Whoa. Shit. You never see it coming. Now it's all Persona 5. Persona 5. I'm still trying to find the reason to how it. True. You see fans when they found it. 30 years old dudes explaining why they romantic without it. Nintendo Switch owner when Nintendo found it decided to stop complaining about Persona 5 being ported through. And Del Makoto finds that Joker and Queen is not canon, true. When you tell a Kasumi fan that Kasumi X Joker is not canon, that is true. Atlus Defenders getting ready to release by its completely official Evangelion. Okay? Yeah! Let's go! Haru screen time!
A mirror in front of me is where I find an empty glass, reflection of the truth.
Persona 5 play artist to explain why Mifune is not a boring character. She's not a boring character, True! Who the fuck has a fan of Oya? What the fuck? The came even from the way to receive their digital injections for their favorite donothon. Lookalike? Candy romance and they decided for her robotic younger sister. True. It is time explaining why he's misunderstood villain and he did not live in nothing. You find it to the dreams of dating. What the fuck? What is this?
In 1946, a P-239 plutonium core scheduled for detonation by nuclear bomb was harmlessly melted down and reintegrated into the United States' nuclear stockpile. That was the end of a 14-pound metallic sphere that had killed 2 scientists not 11 months before.
Whoa, what happened?
This is the true story of the Demon Core.
What happened in this? Why 2 people died? What's this?
The spheres of atomic material that had obliterated the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki would have easily fit in your hand, and they were light enough to carry. Because of the extreme levels of radiation coming from them, the cores were carried around in secure containers.
You put on the Christmas
but
tree.
curious
Oh, yeah.
physicists reported that the cores were disturbingly warm to the touch. Both the Little Boy and Fat Man nuclear bombs used subcritical masses of uranium and plutonium respectively, meaning that no self-sustaining nuclear reaction would be possible with the spheres alone, and the nickel plating that covered them would prevent most of the escaping radiation from harming you. The real harm comes later. The terrible explosions that Little Boy and Fat Man are famous for only happen when a nuclear core goes critical, using directed conventional explosives to artificially induce a critical mass. This meant literally compressing a plutonium or uranium sphere into a much smaller volume with explosions. Now, neutrons emitted from natural radioactivity would be much more likely to go on and impact other atoms before escaping, leading to a chain reaction of exponentially more and more atoms releasing tremendous energy. At the heart of an atomic blast is a radioactive core filled with atoms poised like rat traps. All the bomb itself does is force one of those traps to snap.
Tickling the dragon's tail.
The so-called Demon Core was the third core of fissionable nuclear material made during the World War II era. It was also supposed to be dropped on Japan, but after the Empire's prompt surrender following the obliteration of Nagasaki, the core had no immediate military use. Instead, a physicist working at the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico after the war decided to use the remaining core to figure out just what it takes to make a core like this go critical. When Otto Robert Frisch first arrived in the United States, he was placed at Los Alamos to study neutron multiplication in uranium and plutonium. These elements naturally radiate neutrons in the process of nuclear decay, and as we said, if there is enough of the radioactive element close enough together, these neutrons can go on to cause the rat trap style reaction as neutrons slam more neutrons free from other atoms. However, there is another way to force criticality other than just having a giant sphere of plutonium, which would be hard to make. It turns out that if you use a very thick material to reflect neutrons coming out of the material back upon itself, like a mirror would, a self-sustaining reaction can occur with substantially less plutonium or uranium. Even though an explosion might not happen after criticality is reached in all cases, a deadly blast of radiation certainly could. And that's exactly what happened. By 1944, Frisch was leading the critical assembly group at Los Alamos and started a dangerous series of near-criticality testing. The physicists in the group wanted to use neutron-reflective materials around spheres of plutonium and uranium to see just how close they could get to going critical, without explosives and without going over the edge. Commenting on the inherent risk of experiments of this kind, legendary physicist Richard Feynman reportedly said that the experiments were like, quote, tickling the tail of a sleeping dragon, end quote. But even with the very real possibility of being roasted alive by the radioactive fire of a failed criticality test, the tickling the dragon's tail experiments continued. Within 2 years, neutron reflection experiments on the Demon Core would claim the lives of 2 scientists, Harry K. Daghlian Jr. and Louis Slotin, in almost the exact same way.
The half-life of Harry Daghlian.
On August 21st, 1945, Harry K. Daghlian Jr. was conducting a criticality experiment with the Demon Core.
I don't have heart.
He was placing tungsten carbide bricks around the mass of plutonium to see how many bricks and in what orientation it would take to reflect enough neutrons to cause the core to go critical. That afternoon, using a Geiger counter-like device to measure the radiation coming off of the plutonium, he got close enough to criticality that he decided to end the experiment. Now, this result should have been worth just a few graphite streaks in a notebook and maybe a beer at the local bar with the other physicists, but Daghlian was curious. Later that night, he returned, alone, to his assembly for another test. Like the tests before, Daghlian created an orientation of bricks that his measuring device told him was nearly critical. As he was placing one last brick, the measuring device indicated that the core would go critical if he continued on the assembly. The dragon would wake up. So cautiously, he began removing the final brick, and then he dropped it. The moment the brick hit the assembly, the Demon Core instantly went supercritical. And according to Daghlian, there was a blast of blue light and a wave of heat. Daghlian reacted quickly, though, and used his right hand to knock the dropped brick all the way to the floor. In those fractions of a second, Harry had received a fatal dose of radiation. In fact, he had endured what was likely the highest acute dose of radiation of any human in history. 25 days later, Daghlian fell into a coma and died from organ failure owing to severe radiation poisoning. This photo, taken 9 days after the accident by medical staff, is of the hand that Harry had used to stop the Demon Core. He was 24. Harry wasn't completely alone in experimenting in the lab that night. A security guard, Private Robert J. Hemmerly, was also sitting at his desk next to Daghlian reading his newspaper.
He got hit too.
Hemmerly died 33 years after Daghlian Jr. from what is now considered to be radiation-caused leukemia. He was 29 and the father of 2 at the time of exposure. Harry K. Daghlian Jr. was the first official fatality from a criticality accident and the first American casualty of the atomic age. He had arranged to have his body donated to science after his inevitable end so that scientists could study the effects of radiation exposure on the human body. During the 25 days after his fatal mistake, Daghlian's colleague Louis Slotin spent many hours at his bedside, comforting the 24-year-old as radiation poisoning slowly claimed him. Exactly 7 months later, in the same hospital, Louis Slotin would suffer the exact same fate.
Nuclear cowboy.
By 1946, physicist Louis Slotin had taken over the critical assembly group from Frisch. Though the criticality experiments were moved from the Omega site at Los Alamos to the Palajito laboratory, the dangerous nature of the experiments did not change. In addition to Feynman's continued warnings, physicist Enrico Fermi said that, quote, keep doing that experiment that way, and you'll be dead within a year. But Louis Slotin wasn't worried, and the experiments continued. On May 21st, 1946, Slotin was conducting another criticality experiment with the Demon Core. This time, though, instead of using tungsten bricks, Slotin was testing the critical point of the core by placing it inside 2 half spheres made of beryllium and lowering those halves until there was just a sliver of space before the sphere was complete. If the core was completely enclosed, the reflection of neutrons would be total, and the dragon would wake again. The local expert among experts, Slotin was reportedly brash in his experimental protocols. In his signature pair of blue jeans and cowboy boots, Slotin would perform the criticality tests without the fail-safe spacers that
Wow.
would sit on the half-spheres and keep it from ever completely closing.
Wow, what an idiot.
Instead, he would put his bare hand on the top half-sphere and attempt to lower it using only the blade of a flathead screwdriver. That way, he could get much closer to criticality. And Slotin had successfully completed this experiment dozens of times. The afternoon of the accident, Louis Slotin was conducting the same screwdriver experiment as 7 other colleagues recorded and watched. It was just like the test before, but for whatever reason, this time, the screwdriver slipped. The moment the spheres touched, the demon core went prompt critical. The reflected neutrons coming from the plutonium inside the sphere instantly initiated supercriticality. Like the Doglian accident, there was a flash of blue light and a wave of the dragon's heat before Slotin could flip the top half sphere off of the assembly.
Yeah, we're watching
Naturally,
YouTube
the 7 other
videos.
scientists in the room ran out as fast as they could as the accident occurred, but Slotin shouted them all to get back and tossed them a stick of chalk. He told them each to mark down precisely where they were standing. By establishing their positions relative to the demon core, Slotin would be able to calculate just how much radiation each person had just absorbed, and how much their lives had just been shortened. According to physicist Raymer Schreiber, who was present in the room with Slotin that day, Slotin's first words immediately after the incident were, quote, "Well, that does it." Louis Slotin died of severe radiation poisoning 9 days later at the age of 35.
Yikes.
He died in the same hospital as Harry Doglian Jr. on another Tuesday the 21st as a result of the same accident with the same hunk of radioactive material.
I'm pretty.
They even were cared for by the same nurse.
Not gonna lie. I have to move
The
out
demonstration
and all
that day was supposed to be the final demonstration with the core before it was used in a test detonation, and it was. In those few moments, Louis Slotin had been exposed to over 1,000 rads of radiation from the neutrons and gamma rays blasting out of the demon.
The video?
This is possibly the highest dose of radiation any human has ever taken.
As long as you rest well.
As a comparison,
Yes,
1,000 meters from ground zero in Hiroshima, the neutron radiation was measured as less than half of what Slotin had absorbed in those fractions of a second.
Well, you're dead.
Since 1945, over 60 criticality accidents have been recorded, leading to at least 21 deaths in facilities and labs all around the world.
Damn,
The flash of blue light that so often accompanies these incidents is an indication of the invisible radiation being released. As high-energy particles crash through the air, like these particles exiting a cyclotron, they excite the air molecules. The only way for these molecules to return to a lower energy state is to release some radiation of their own, photons of light. But while gases can absorb and re-emit the energy imparted to it by nuclear material, human bodies cannot. Instead, particles and gamma rays flying out of the nuclear cores rip electrons from the molecules that make you up and smash your cellular machinery beyond repair. When enough molecular damage is done, radiation sickness can manifest itself as everything from vomiting and diarrhea to blisters, inflammation, impaired cognition, widespread organ failure, confusion, nausea, high fever, dizziness. 5 weeks later, on July 1st, 1946, a different nuclear core was destroyed in a 23-kiloton air-deployed nuclear weapon over Bikini Atoll. It was supposed to be the end of the Demon Core. Instead, the Demon Core was melted down and redistributed throughout the rest of the United States stockpile, effectively getting a brand new half-life. Until next time.
Damn, that was pretty good. I didn't know about.
Storytime with Kyle.
Sorry,
Serious.
I didn't know
Thank
about
you so
that.
much to the very
Not
nerdy
gonna lie.
staff at the facility for the direct and substantial.
I don't know. I don't know Demon Core. So, you know that actually so interesting. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
90 degrees.
Ayoko na lang ba?
90 degrees. If I have a shape that has 90-degree angles
Yeah,
and all the
radiation is
sides are the same
scary.
length, it's a square. Yeah. But wait, you know as well as I do, if I go to the Earth, go on the Earth and say, oh,
Hello, friend, hi.
I'm going to start on the equator, go up to the North Pole, then move over 90 degrees and take the
Then put the
longitude
demon
down
corner
that
Christmas
goes right
tree.
through the
Well,
Gulf of
yeah.
Mexico and Yucatan and hit there.
Kaka-join ko lang. Sabi ko na ayoko na. Ayoko ng
90 degree
math!
angle here, a 90
Why
degree
it's all
angle
math?
here, and a 90
Why you guys
degree angle
sending?
here. On a sphere,
You guys are
I can
sending
have
videos that are math.
triangles that have more than 180 degrees in them. I can cut a piece of paper on here that would be a three-sided square. Yeah, you know, I could sort of shape this down here and here, 90 degrees down here. Not sure I drew it correctly, but let's try this one. Each of the angles here are 90 degrees. Here's a 90 degree angle. Here's a 90 degree angle. And here's almost a 90 degree angle. Here's a three-sided square. All three sides are the same length, and all the angles are 90 degrees. A sphere, not to be confused with a ball, but a sphere has constant Gaussian curvature, which says that if I pick a point, that point there, and draw two lines through it,
Ayaw mo sa math,
and
ayaw niya
choose
sa
the
Ay,
maximum
nako!
and the
Nako!
minimum
Nako!
curvatures of those things, multiply them together, positive number times a positive
Masyado ka
number,
namang
I get
negative,
positive.
Lodi.
A sphere everywhere has
Paano kung siya na
constant
talaga?
positive curvature. Okay, neat. Can I get something that
Kasi
has
naman yung iniisip
constant
mo, pero feeling ko
negative
wala ka
curvature?
naiisip.
Is it possible to make something that is the opposite of a
Hello,
sphere?
Arsenis.
Something that instead of always bulging outward is something that's always curving
Baka ano lang
inward.
siya,
Can I make
tsundere lang
something?
siya kasi ayaw niya sa'yo, pero
the answer
deep
is
inside,
yes.
you know.
I can make a pseudosphere.
Hello,
a
Arsenis.
fake
How you doing?
sphere.
I'm not a
It's
toge. Why are you
funnel-shaped.
saying
It's
that?
horn-shaped. And it has the delicious property that if I pick any point at all on it, say right here, in one direction,
I wanna die.
it'll bulge inward, and the other direction it bulges outward. I have to make a little point here that I have to pick the minimum inward going and the maximum outward going, or the maximum of either one of them. I can't just rotate this 90 degrees. I have to, or a few degrees this way, so it's like an X. I have to pick these so that in one direction it's bulging out, and the other one it's bulging in. Turns out that a pseudosphere has everywhere constant negative curvature. That means that if I multiply to get the Gaussian curvature here, where the positive going here is not very big, but the negative going is huge. And over here, the negative going curvature is kind of small, but
got
the
some
positive
interesting video. You
curvature
wanna have a
along here
mental?
is
Oh my
quite
god!
big. A pseudosphere
I'm just watching the
everywhere
ones
has
that my
constant
community sending in my
negative
Discord
curvature. Let me go
server,
back
and they're all
bring it.
sending
On an
this.
ordinary Euclidean piece of paper, every triangle.
It's negative times
if I
negative
sum
equals
the
positive, right?
angles,
Because it's
I'll get
negative
180 degrees.
negation, you know?
On a sphere, if I draw a triangle, any triangle at all I draw on it, the sum of the three angles
I actually forgot
than
about
180
exponents
True on the globe, true on a
before.
sphere. On a
I actually
pseudosphere,
completely
no
wipe
matter
out of
how
my
I draw a
memory,
triangle,
and they
its
literally
angles will
put that
always
video
sum to
earlier.
less than 180 degrees. They'll be pointy in an odd way. They'll
I
come
am
to
waiting for the
little
traditional
pointy
cooking
shapes.
video. Oh
We can
god.
take advantage of that.
Where's the
to
cooking
draw
videos? I want the
a
cooking
shape
videos.
that has 90-degree corners in 5 sides. Origamiist Bob Lang showed me how to do this in a paper that he wrote, and uses all sorts of hyperbolic secants and cosecants and hyperbolic functions abound on this surface. But the cool thing is,
Naging
you
grade
can
ko sa
take
math ngayon, lalo na next sem cal.
of
Oh my god,
paper,
calculus
get
ba?
wet,
I don't
wrap
want to
it around
remember
here,
calculus.
everywhere has negative Gaussian curvature.
Don't want
By
to remember
choosing
calculus. It's
points
already
just-
like wiped up in my
just right,
memory.
I can
It's already
find
gone.
that here's a 5-sided figure. 1, 2,
Why did you
3,
make me remember
4,
calculus?
5 sides.
Each
of the corners is 90 degrees. 90 there, 90
This was
there. 90
geometry,
there.
though,
Check.
so-
Keep me honest here. Let's take a piece of paper that's 90 degrees, right?
Making it like a 5...
Here's a 90-degree angle right there, right there.
What's it called? A 5-sided
90-degree angle there. Over here, sure enough, 90 degrees.
They're all 90 degrees. They're equal.
90 degrees. 90. 90. Here's a 5-sided figure. Catch this, a 5-sided figure. All corners are 90 degrees. Let's and cut out of paper like this. Here's a piece of paper folded to fit, shaped to fit on top of the pseudosphere. Each of these corners are 90 degrees.
It looks like a pentagon to me, though.
It's a pentagon.
Yeah,
it's a pentagon.
It's a freaking
whose
pentagon.
corners are all 90 degrees.
So is it a pentagon or a square?
If I say, hey, a square is a shape that has equal length edges,
4, 2, 5,
and
8,
all
5.
corners are 90 degrees, then I could claim that this is a 5-sided
What is that? I love boobs.
square.
So its edges are
Me
equal
too.
length as well.
I like boobs.
Each of
Because
those
I have
edges
boobs. True.
is the same
True.
length. What happens
True.
if I bash it flat?
Plus two.
Well, a nifty thing about topology says it shouldn't be possible. If I try bashing this flat, it's like taking a section of a sphere, taking a section of the globe and bashing it flat. There's not a good mapping that will preserve areas, that will preserve directions. We get into the problem of conformal mapping and non-conformal mapping and things like this. We can do this, but as I push down here, that bends out. Push down here. Oh, I'll just bend over here. Oh, maybe if I push down here. Oh, then it bumps up here, bumps up there. No. How about if I push this one and this one down? This one, this one, this one. I've got 5 fingers. 1, 2, 3.
You made
1,
that
2, 3,
pentagon out of
4,
a freaking
5.
sphere.
And but
Because of
now
the
it's bumping up
pseudosphere.
here. I can sort of put it in a press, but it's trying to pop out the bottom of the table. You can't perfectly map a spherical
flat earthers.
or a pseudospherical surface onto a Euclidean plane. It's a problem that map makers have had for a long time, and it's a problem that shows up when you start mapping our universe, because our universe apparently seems to have something of negative curvature.
Our thanks to the Great Course Plus for supporting this video. If there's anything you want to
I
learn
am not
about,
sponsored. I wish I am sponsored, but I'm not. Okay. Ooh, I watched this before. Okay? This is tame. Okay? I feel Michama is once
My name
flat.
is Nathaniel. I'm 27
flat
years
earth.
old.
No! I am not
I'm in a
flat.
serious relationship with my car.
Wow!
Alright,
That's so
baby.
sexual.
Handsome man.
Nathaniel is in a committed relationship with a car that he's named Chase. He met Chase in a resale lot
He's
about
not
5
gay.
years
He's
ago.
not. He's gay. He called him Chase.
It was
So
a lot
it's
at
a
first,
guy?
like, his body and then his interior and everything
I
just together just seemed to
appreciate
fit. And I just felt an instant connection.
He's not straight.
Nathaniel's obsession first developed as a
on ya.
teenager when he would build model cars. But he didn't
Sana all
find
car.
true
What the
love
fuck?
until he met Chase.
I find this part of him the most sexy, which is the subtle lines and curves.
Ay nako,
I'll give him a
pwedeng
kiss here.
alhin yan. Pwedeng
And just kind of caress him down the side.
screenshot yan out of
My
context
initial
now.
reaction
Lodi now ko.
was I was
Nako.
kind of shocked. It was kind of weird because it was just hard to understand.
Nako. It feels when a person develops a strong emotion and sexual relationship. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah! This one, the roller coaster one, is by far like the worst that I've seen. This is tame.
Honestly, I don't know why I feel the way I do. But I just absolutely love Chase. We always have such a good time together. He likes a lot of the same music I do. We have a favorite song. It's
God, how he
Can't Fight the
caressed
Feeling
that,
by REO
that
Speedwagon.
wheel? Oh god.
I do get him gifts. How you buy something for your fiance or your wife. And then usually for his birthday, I try to do something special for him too. The favorite date would be going to the lookout area. Just lean against him a little and just be with him mainly. Love you.
Love you.
But Nathaniel's relationship with Chase goes beyond
Sana
dates
all.
and presents.
Sana all nila love you.
We have our times when we get sexual. Does that feel good? You're a handsome man.
Oh, handsome man, see, he's.
Love you, baby.
Oh my God, he's
What
so
we do the
gay.
most often
Good
is
for
I like
him.
to lean over his fender and across his hood and do little things like that.
How does he
and,
jack off that car though?
And kind of press up
Whoa!
against him
He did
and
make
rub
the
against him
French.
like that.
Did he tongue that?
One of his more bold positions is for me
Sana
to
ako
be
yung
underneath him.
kotse, tas kinikit sa naka.
He really likes that. It's very special to make love to Chase.
Oh, feeling ko siya yung bottom.
I am worried for my friend.
Kasi nasa
because
baba
it's not
siya.
normal. And you may have people that don't understand and make fun of you.
Imagine.
Nathaniel's so attached to Chase, he rarely lets anyone else drive him, and never lets Chase out of his sight for more than 24 hours.
There have been times it brought tears to my eyes because I wasn't with him at work. His picture's on my desktop, so I see his face all the time. It really bothers me when he gets dinged or scratched. If something were ever to happen to Chase, my heart would just stop. I just have to gather myself.
Oh my
up
God,
and
he's crying when he got his car scratched.
I am concerned for Nathaniel emotion-wise. I think life would be easier if he did change.
Love you.
Nathaniel's roommate Kim is one of the few people who know the full extent of his love life.
I guess the reason I don't tell a lot of people is because I don't know the response.
And
I'm
you're
gonna get.
telling
I
this
always worry
here
about that
in
little bit
national
of
television?
disgust that
Are you
somebody may
serious?
have.
But Nathaniel's biggest fear is how his relationship could affect his career as a customer service technician.
I mean, if everybody found out, I'd be worried that it may affect my job.
Are you serious?
But
You're
I love
showing
him
this
to
to
death. I
people.
wouldn't trade him for the world. Good night, baby. Love you.
Love you. Sana all nila love you. Wait, I have to find it, okay? Addicted. Wait. Love with roller coaster. There you go. This one. My God. My God. My God.
I love this part that's coming up. It's not unlike one of Bach's chorale preludes. And
This
I
one
think
is
because
much
they're
worse
German,
than
they
the car.
adapted this
Okay?
right here.
Whoa, whoa. You realize this amusement
like that, yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite part, like a hurricane. 'Cause
Yeah.
It feels like that sometimes in your heart.
Yeah,
When
it
you're
does.
so caught up in
It's
it.
just a rush of emotions.
Oh man.
That's what love does to you.
Yeah, well, it's this magic
Yeah,
movie
that's what
you know.
love. That's what love does to you. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's my favorite part. Okay, am I watching?
Amy
You guys
and her
will
clique.
see soon enough.
But she just smiled from ear to ear and says, "Mom, there's other people like me out there." And she just was filled with joy.
You can see him a little bit there, just the
when
top
we
of
get to
him.
the front. My heart's just going boom, boom, boom.
Wow, he is really tall.
Yes, he is.
People in the GF like
God.
me. He's already lifting.
After 5 months, it's good to see you. He's just so noble, so proud, so strong. I not only love him for a sexual attraction, I mean, we're not talking about fetish here. I love
Really?
him as a mate. I love the roundness of his counterweights at the top. I love him for the narrowness of his jibs. I love him for the elegant lines of his gondola, which is now covered up for the winter. I like the ribbing up underneath his name display there, too. parallel lines that are coming down. You see where I'm talking about?
yes, I see it, yeah.
I love that.
Damn. Meeting your love for the first time.
I'm thinking, oh geez, you know what I'm thinking about. This is very personal. When I make love to him at home, when I start climaxing,
Whoa!
I just keep saying over and over again, just as I'm starting to go over the edge, I just tell him, I want your fluids, I want your fluids, I want your
Oh my god, and then he starts grabbing those rust. No doubt he's kissing those. Yummy. Yeah, I told you this is much worse than the car. Oh god. Oh god.
He's perfect.
The fence
I
lady.
mean, this is the shape that I like so much. These
Oh yeah.
angles.
Oh yeah, I remember
Fabulous.
this. He really likes those fences for some reason. She fell in love with the fence!
You smell good. Oh my god, you smell so good.
Yum, 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 yum. Ah, no, please! Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god!
Fences are such dangerous objects for me.
This is
because they
too,
are so
too much.
perfect.
This is too much
in
blood.
their geometry. I mean, I have to say there is a lot of physical stuff going on right now.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
And I think that happens between human relationships as well. But I'm definitely physically attracted to this fence, and I would like to get to know this fence better.
Oh god! Oh god! No! Oh god!
Very, very sweet.
Bitch, please!
An
Please,
OS
this is not
person
yours,
talks
it's
to
a
their beloved
YouTube!
object, and the object communicates back by telepathy.
The
How many
rust in
times
his
over when we've made
face!
love at
Or
home
is it
have I
not? It's
asked
just a branch. Oh, it's just...
Look at me. Look at me and say it.
Got cream pie!
I don't want to go. I'd rather stay here with you. It's never really goodbye to anyone. Because 1001 knocked, as I have told you many times before, and I will many times repeat it, I love you.
Married to the Eiffel Tower. Oh my god. See? No! Stop! See, I told you. I told you. This is what happens, okay? I watched this before. Now you guys have to watch it too. My dad launching a nuclear missile on my dog. That's cute. Oh god, it's Filthy Frank!
And I came home to check what the comment was. And guess what the comment said? We have our first hater.
Mouse, I have accepted.
Hello?
Hey, Mouse.
I miss Papa Frank.
This show's come a long way.
Why is this the
Been quite
first
a
thing
while
I
since we
witnessed?
began. I don't know what happened. All I remember was taking 16
Papa
deaths
Frank.
and the show just kind of went downhill from there. And needless to say, I don't give a flying fuck. You know, for a change, why don't we start with some nice words
I
of
would kiss
encouragement comments?
Papa
I hope
Franco.
you fucking die, unfunny, gook-ass, spick-looking ass middle school comedian ass South Park wannabe piece of fucking trash. Alright, never mind. Looks like there's too many. We're jumping right in. This is gonna be fun. Now, Marcus Spears says, my little sister had to move in with our aunt in Iowa because of your videos. His channel. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Not because she had to move in with her aunt, but because she had to move to Iowa. Don't worry, there's some fun stuff in Iowa. I'm sorry your sister had to move to Iowa. Alright, we're gonna start with some YouTube comments. The first one comes from Mr. Prey Sniping. How the fuck did this retard have 300,000 views? He's not funny and clearly has an IQ similar in size to negative 125. Okay, first of all, I don't think IQ is calculated in size. So you kind of dropped the ball there, dipshit. So you know, let's go on their profile and see what kind of videos they think are ideal. Prey Sniping, subscribe to a channel. Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science. The Thinking Atheist. Oh man, we're in for a fucking treat. Cause you know he's just a 16-year-old that thinks he's smarter than everybody. Yeah, I see you, Prey Sniping. You're that kid in the back of the classroom with that Minecraft t-shirt and he flipped the pen in your hand over and over again. Shitting out Richard Dawkins quotes you found on Reddit. And your grades are probably really shitty, but no, I get it. You're a different kind of intellect and you're a different kind of learner. Right.
I need to prove that I'm smarter than everybody, so I'm just gonna become an atheist. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Wow, I'll tell you what, you're a real thinker. And you know, you scroll down a little more, and you subscribe to chess.com.
No, what a nerd!
How does the inside of your colon smell? Cause you're pretty fucking far up there.
Ooh, nobody gives a shit.
Next question. Chris Master Chris says,
I don't get that he's funny. He's just some stupid Asian with a creepy face.
hey man, I find that offensive. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, I went on his profile and he's subscribed to both Smosh channels, so I'm not even surprised.
Is this guy partially mental? I'm not joking or being mean when asking this. I've worked with mentally retarded people for a while and it seems like he fits right in.
Okay, first of all, let's address this. If you've worked with mentally disabled people, you don't call them mentally retarded. Don't try and act politically correct, but be politically incorrect about the exact thing you're addressing. But to answer your question,
My God, it's been a while since I watched any Papa Franco's video.
I don't even know it. I don't even know anymore. And then he comes at me with,
I am 16, I have a 3.9 GPA, and I'm going into my junior year. I've been taking advanced classes. Get some facts right before you judge someone.
What a nerd!
I'm sorry, I didn't know what we were dealing with. Guys, we're dealing with a special snowflake.
Nobody gives a shit.
I love Minecraft.
Kid, I'm so sorry for you in general. Just, good luck out there, yeah?
You're a pro-American racist pig who doesn't even speak proper Japanese or understand anything but stereotypes. I speak Japanese fluently and I learned it from anime, so yes, you can learn Japanese from anime. You don't know anything about Japan at all, and you seem really ignorant.
You're calling me ignorant because I'm an American? Because I speak English? But guess what? I'm not American. So you're ignorant. Also, this goes without being said, but you're weeaboo trash. Alright, now this guy's a special one. It's a bit long, so I'll let you read it on your own.
Well, konnichiwa there.
There's so much wrong with this post, I can't even talk about it. Like I'd feel too bad. Anomalous Dota says,
anyone who finds this funny, please reassess your IQ.
You know, alright, I get it. This guy must be pretty important. Let's take a look at it.
True.
Team Arab had carry. I'm looking for a serious high-level team. Contact me. 3 subscribers. Anyone who plays Dota, like, contact him. He's looking for a high-level team. I think he plays as one of those creatures. You know, the ones that are really skinny and like really hairy. What are they called? Oh yeah, virgins. of here, trash. Is Filthy Frank actually 52? Yeah, I am. I turn 53 next July. Big Stank Dick Dad says, my younger sister showed this to me. This channel should be shut down. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Does she have to move in with her aunt in Iowa too?
Ooh, nobody gives a shit.
And last but not least for the YouTube comments, Chad Kroger says, I just killed my whole family today.
And what the hell is on Joey?
Just guys, anyways, don't be fucking dipshit. What? What do you want? Shit.
Yes,
but I
he
hate
is.
haircut day. Fine. Hold on, guys. Pink Eye's gonna give me a haircut.
Yes, Hiki's.
Alright. Let's get this shit started. Give me that Carlton fade, nigga. Give me that Carlton fade. Give me that Carlton fade. Ah!
Fucking eating tinola or some shit?
Wait, what? Y'all should know by now, this is the worst show on the internet. If I want to get a haircut mid-video, I'm gonna fucking do it.
I say it looks pretty good though.
So that'll be all the hate comments for today. They didn't hurt at all. Now let's lighten the mood up a little bit and do some Facebook comments, huh? Danny Connors says, would you rather have a 20-pound tongue or a 20-pound ball sack? Now you gotta look at the pros and cons here. A 20-pound tongue would probably mean you can't speak ever again, but you could probably eat the pussy like a madman. But with a 20-pound ball sack, you never specified whether the balls were huge as well. So really, there could just be two little balls.
Everything
with
is
a huge
like
ball sack just around.
not-
so just
not
be skinny
like-
flat.
not surrounded
so,
by
thanks to modern
no
medicine, you
blades.
could probably remove a lot of the ball sack. And you could probably use it as a nice warm quilt for the winter time. You
Like,
know,
everything
just a
is
nice
so
scrotum
funny,
quilt
but
for the winter. A
all
squilt.
that
So you know what,
golden
Danny?
years.
I'm probably gonna go with the large ball sack. Thanks for the lovely question. Let's look at the next question. Matt Banks says, Lisa, this is some nasty ass coffee. I hate you so much, but the pussy game ridiculous. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
I love you, baby.
Alexis, I'm not even gonna bother pronouncing your last name, says, would you rather have Ebola or keep being yourself? I'll tell you what, you guys have no chill. You guys have no fucking chill. It's actually a really tough question. But at least being myself doesn't have, like, as a high death rate. I don't know, though. Is it really worth being alive like this? Lucas Adverse says, would you rather commit suicide or kill yourself? Please do it. Well, you're not giving me much of an option. John Fahey says, would you rather have dick-sized nipples or a nipple-sized dick? Now this is pretty interesting because, now assuming, even though you have dick-sized nipples, they're not dicks, they're just dick-sized nipples, and if you have a nipple-sized dick, you know, it still has the function of a penis, but it's just the size
so
of the nipple.
small.
That's what we're assuming here. At least with a nipple-sized dick, you can hide it and just, you know, keep your pants on. You know, the chances of you pretty much getting laid are like 0. But at least people can kind of think that you're a functioning human being. Whereas having dick-sized nipples, you're gonna be in gym class running and it's just gonna be flopping. Or like you're gonna be running late to work and just flopping. Like you can't just hide that with
What
a
if
shirt. Even if you
your
got
dick is
duct tape
small?
and duct tape your penis-sized nipples to your chest, they would still be sticking out a great amount. Now, assuming they're nipples, what if it gets really cold in the winter? They're gonna stand up like erections, so you're just straight up fucked. Well, if you're gonna have penis-sized nipples, let's hope they're Asian nipples, huh? It says, kill, fuck, marry. The President Edition. Nixon, Obama, or Kent? No, okay, never mind. We're not doing this one. So on Facebook I asked, what was your most awkward high school experience? And I got some interesting answers. Taking a shit in a kid's backpack in the library while the kid took a 2-minute test. It was like defusing a bomb. That's like fucked up, but like I'm proud of you because you did it in 2 minutes. I mean, actually, 2 minutes isn't that bad. Mikhail says, watching your vids. All right, yeah. I walked right in that one. Andrew Sutherland says, fucking my teacher. I was homeschooled. Oh boy, that's fucked. Nicholas says, penis inspection day. Now, I got a lot of comments that said penis inspection day, Bonilla Devon says, showing my friends Filthy Frank and none of them laughing.
Damn. They're missing out.
Alright. Daily penis inspection in gym class. I swear I was always singled out for not washing my foreskin properly. The coach would always keep me back in detention and show me the correct way to wash. He was a pretty decent guy and always seemed really keen to help out when someone was struggling. Well, it's really nice that your PE teacher could help you out with your foreskin. I'm not gonna ask any questions, I'm not gonna call the cops. I didn't see anything. Mark Serban says, fell asleep in class and had a wet dream. Came in my pants and had to hide it for the rest of the lecture. Your life is like a 90s movie. Kyle Monroe says, high school as a whole. 308 likes. You know what? I think we can all agree on that. So I also asked on the Facebook group what the Filthy Frank show reminds you of. And the answers were, why I'm still a virgin. Yes, that's about right. Emilio says the guy who killed John Lemon. And sadly, even those were the only serious answers that were on that post. The rest was shit like this. Ember Goodrow just sent a picture of this.
What the fuck?
Like, where do you get this shit? Like, you guys need to stop. You guys need to fucking chill, please. Oh my goodness. Anyways, folks, I hate you all. I really do.
Just kidding, I love you, baby. Let me suck on those tits.
You know, like the Facebook page, the Twitter. Like, those two are just fucked up. Like, that's where all the real shit goes down. I'd actually advise you not to be on those pages. Like, the comment section on those Facebook posts are just a fucking mess. Like, that's the only way to describe it. It's a fucking mess. Anyway, sayonara, you sorry-looking bastards. I'll see you next time.
It's Filthy Frank, motherfucker. It's Filthy
Frank, bitch. Let's get some pussy tonight. I miss Filthy Frank videos so much. What if Michael Bay directed Up?
This is the greatest advance in modern physics since the splitting
Stop
of the
now.
atom.
This is serious. He's out to get your house. I believe I made my position to your boss quite clear. He can have our
Man,
house.
I love Up.
We're not dead.
The first minutes of Up is so great.
Don't you know it's an exclusive club? Only explorers get in here. Not just any kid off the street with a helmet and a pair of goggles. Do you think you got what it takes?
Yes. Russell?
This mountain is a very dangerous place.
Oh, the fucking explosion! Of course, Michael Bay, as usual.
I didn't ask for any of this.
That's a lot of explosions!
I am going to paradise all pivot kill.
Fucking explosions! Hello, dummy! And then there's explosions. I knew it. No! Stop!
Hi people, and I'm back cooking again.
Why are we here?
And today I'm going to be having a go at doing mushroom soup.
Mushroom
as it's getting colder outside now. First of all, it says melt 3 ounces. Wrong bloody over, wrong ring. 3 ounces of butter. So I'm not gonna, I've got wrong thing. I've got spoon, I meant to, never mind, I'm gonna get the right thing and carry on.
Oh my god,
Right, now I've got
back.
the proper thing. It says to melt 3 ounces of marge I think that's a lot that, but not Marge, it says butter. Hold on, I've got my little list here at the side of me. Big list at the side of me.
Okay.
3 ounces of butter or 90 grams of butter. Yeah, 90 grams. See, now I don't work in grams, I'm still working in pounds and ounces. So that's that. Then it does say, not straight away, to add my garlic. And yes, it's that lazy garlic again. And it says 2 onions. I think there's 2 in there, I can't tell, we're tipping them from a
I hope your wrist is okay,
packet.
Kay.
And I also found out, I might be a bit late on finding out, but I've also found out that they've started doing frozen mushrooms. No, I didn't know. I'm going to turn that heat down because I don't like the... But I think that's a bit too much in there, but never mind. I'm just doing exactly what it says. So there's 3 ounces of it in there. I'm going to let that cook because I have got some mushrooms. I know they were. I know I've got some frozen, but there's some that I got that I had left over
I wanna
from a
die.
previous video, which I just shoved in the freezer. So I'm going to have to cut them up. As you can see, all the butter is melted.
Yep, it's all melted.
So now I'm going to put my frozen onions
Why is it frozen onion?
And my...
Why would you
little
make
bit
it
jar
frozen? Why
of
is it frozen?
garlic. It says to cook them.
Gordon Ramsay will
There's too much butter in there to cook
cry.
it. It says just until soft or until very golden brown. So I'm going to let them cook because I need to cut the mushrooms.
And I kind of want mushrooms.
So I'll leave them to cook a bit. I'll put them on a lower heat than what they were on. I'll put them on number 4 so they don't burn while I do my mushrooms. Now you can see the mushrooms. I have been told not to wash them.
Why?
But I always do.
Is it?
So I'm just cutting these up. They're very easy to cut up.
I haven't like tried to
well,
cook with the mushrooms. I don't know.
As you can see, look at all the water oozing out of them. Should never wash them.
Don't wash the mushrooms? Is it true?
So I'm just going to show you another one. That's a little bit frozen, that one. So I'm just going to keep cutting them up as small as I can.
So black?
And then
is that normal
throwing
for
them
a mushroom?
into the pan. Now it says once the
what the fuck
mushrooms are in.
That's a lot of mushrooms, Kay.
To let it cook.
Not gonna lie,
for
whenever
3
I
minutes.
go mushroom soup,
So
I don't
I'm
really
gonna
want
let it
to have
cook
a lot of
for 3
mushrooms.
minutes, which I don't think is long enough really for anything to cook. But I'm going to let it cook for 3 minutes and then I'm going to start adding the flour. Right, it's had its 3 minutes. So I am now...
I saw a comment that I am a terrible cook. I am not a terrible cook. I may not cook a lot, but I'm not terrible, okay? If we reach cooking stream, I will. I will prove that I'm not a terrible cook, okay?
It doesn't look like any mushroom soup I've come along. seems to be
Says the
thickening up, which
person
it
who
says
that
it
almost
needs
burnt
to
the topper
do.
right out. Hey!
Oh, I'll just
Hey!
put the rest of that in.
But why? That's a lot. That's a lot, Kay. That's a lot, Kay.
It says it needs to be really
Are you really
thickening up.
making a super fucking beef brisket? What the fuck is this?
Yeah. I think that is thick. I was thinking to myself earlier, with the thinness of it and the juice that was already in the pan, we didn't need the chicken broth.
I only know burnt hot dog.
I don't know why it said chicken broth, probably because they haven't got no
for
mushroom
once
broth.
know how to cook hot dog, okay?
Pour a bit of the broth in. I'm not going to put it all in because it says it needs to just
Is this case cooking? Yeah.
says it needs to make it come together. Well, that looks as though it's coming together for me. That looks a bit dark for me. It doesn't say anything about cream, but I'm going to add some cream to make it a bit more lighter. Is that a word, lighter? You probably can't see, or you might be able to. I have put a bit of cream in. I didn't want it pure white, so I've put a bit of cream in, which just give it a little bit of colour, a bit more lighter. I think I'll just add a little bit more broth because I don't want to add too much.
I know, right? It looks like a
blender.
I don't know, freaking beef bistec.
And
for some reason,
is that still taping? Yeah, I think so. So I think that can go in the blender now.
Soup.
And let's see how it goes from there.
I don't know why it became a patty.
You can see I've got it all
No, Kay,
put in the blender. I know it looks a
Kay,
pretty mess how I tipped it in, but
Kay.
so that's on. So I'm going to put that on. I mean, it's a very loud blender. Well, I say it's a loud one. Not as loud as the other one, but I'm going to do hard to work. Oh, it's a press downer. So I'm just going to, well, press down and hopefully it might be best if it's slotted in. Oh, good God, here we go. Fucked up again.
What happened?
Right, as you can see, I've got it all going. I don't know if you can hear me over the blender. As I did tell you, it was quite loud. So it's mixing the bottom of it. Just needs to get the top of it. I don't think you can hear me above it.
Forbidden chocolate.
So I'm going to let it do its thing and then I'm going to show you the end product. Right, as you can see now, it's all, I think it's all come out.
Before you learn your cooking skills? No!
Of the blender, I think it's all out, yes. I think that's it,
God.
yes. Just put that over there for the moment. And the same spoon
God.
that I scooped it all in with is, well, I'm going to turn
Sorry.
the ring on, number 6, because it's supposed to taste like soup. So we'll give that a few minutes to warm up.
This is not the soup that I'm thinking!
Well, it's got hot.
That looks so horrible!
I would assume.
I'm not gonna look, I'm just gonna go with my
some-
work. Fucking hell.
On some tins, you just have to warm them up.
God, that looks so
But it's like I'm
horrible.
cooking this again.
That looks so gummy!
So I think it might be wise to try that. I don't think my blender's took all lumps out. I probably didn't leave it in long enough. So yeah, some bits falling out. So I think, yeah, I think I'm going to try that. I think I'm going to be brave enough to try it. And that is the end product with some on a plate
that
going
looks
cold
so
for
bad.
me
Oh God!
to try
Oh
it.
God! No!
Now I'm going to try a bit.
Oh my God! Please. That looks nothing like soup. Are you okay? Are you okay?
That's nice. That's really nice.
Oh, nice!
Even though the blender, I didn't leave the blender on long enough to mix everything round, and there's bits of mushroom in it, but that don't really matter because it's mushroom soup anyway. So there's going to be a link in the description to my merchandise. If you like what you see, please keep viewing me. If you want to give me a big old thumbs up, that's one of them. If you want to leave me a comment and a recipe, please feel free, the more the merrier. And if you
living the
haven't
life just like her
subscribed, or
t-shirt,
you know
Iron
someone
Maiden.
who hasn't subscribed, get them subscribing, get yourself subscribing. Let's get the whole world subscribing. Probably be a better place than what it is. Thank you. Bye.
I wanna die. That is not a soup. Did you know what soup looks like? That is not look watery. I feel bad. What the heck? What the fuck? Are we the most expensive object now while walking in Shibuya? That's wild. Wow. Wow, sheesh! Gago, makikitingin ako ng mga shotty dito. I'm sorry, na-startle si ate. Na-startle si ate yung pagka-turn niya. Oo. I hate whoever sent this. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, where
Mess up
website
origins
design
of
is
Snow
made
White.
easy.
Ooh. I know the origins of Cinderella.
What is going on, everybody? My name is John
I read a
Solo,
little
and
bit in
today
Snow
on
White.
Messed Up Origins, we're actually revisiting a story that we talked about way back during the show's inception over 2 years ago. That story is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, or should I say, Snowdrop. No, I'm gonna say Snow White. Now, unlike the episode where we went back and revisited Cinderella because the first time around I mistook it for a Grimm Brothers original,
Cinderella
Snow
is
White
actually really-
was a Grimm Brothers original. However,
Yeah?
I was able to find an even earlier edition than we talked about last time, as well as some notes from their unpublished
Grimm
rendition. On
Brothers,
top of all that, I found an even
stories,
older story that,
version of
while
the-
different, the Grimm Brothers likely took
of the
inspiration from.
princesses
In
is
other words,
actually
we've got a
more
lot of to talk about
gruesome
today,
than-
and I don't know
than
about
a,
you,
like,
but I am
Grimm
very
than-
excited to get into it. But I'm always excited to get into it. Because I'm a nerd. Before we do, though, I gotta give a shout out to this week's sponsor and friend of the show, Squarespace. Tell me, Solo
I am
fan,
not
have you ever
sponsored
wanted
by
to have a
Squarespace,
website of
by
your
the
own
way.
to
I
show
am
off
not
your art,
sponsored by
music, or merchandise
Squarespace.
centuries on one platform that gives you the ability
I
to
am not
create a beautiful
sponsored. I am
website from
not
within your browser,
sponsored.
so there's nothing for you to install or update ever. They have a wide
am
variety of
not
themes, setting up a
sponsored.
theme for the page, a link to my beautiful. If you want to know John sorted, as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for weekly content just like
the
this,
usual-
and most
the usual.
importantly, enjoy.
Snow White.
So the very first rendition of the story we call Snow White, and that one overly ambitious translator called Snowdrop, was published in 1812 by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm. In total, there were 17 editions of this story, with the final edition being published in 1857. I'm breaking down the first edition today though, and as I do that, I'll be touching on some of the major differences with both later and earlier drafts. Now our story opens with a queen sewing by a windowsill watching the snowflakes fall, as one does. She ends up pricking her finger with a needle, I'm assuming because she was distracted by the beautiful snowflakes, and 3 drops of her blood fall on the snow, causing her to have a totally normal thought. If only I could have a daughter that was as white as the snow, as red as my blood, and as black as the ebony windowsill. I can low-key relate. The other day I spilled orange juice on Gunther's pee pad, which had a little brown stain on it, and I couldn't help but think, Lord, please let my kid look just like that. Well, unlike me, the queen got her wish. Lucky her. Fast forward 6 years and Snow White has grown into a beautiful little girl that everyone adores and her mother is jealous of. And this jealousy hits its breaking point when one morning the queen asks her magic mirror who in this land is fairest of all, and it answers Snow White. Or to be specific, it says, you my queen are fair, it is true, but Snow White is 1,000 times fairer than you. 1,000 times. Pretty harsh words. Well, naturally this infuriates the incredibly insecure queen, so she launches a plot to have Snow White killed. She orders a huntsman to bring her 7-year-old daughter deep in the woods, stab her to death, and to bring back her lungs and liver so she can eat them with salt. Now whether you find that disgusting or delicious, I think you'd be interested in learning what the queen's scheme was in the rough draft. Instead of having someone kill the girl so she could eat her, the plan was simply to lead the girl into the woods herself under the guise of picking flowers and just abandon her there. It's not as gruesome, but it's definitely still messed up to do to your own daughter. Now there's no official explanation as to why they made the plan so much more horrifying for the official publication, but some say it's because of the old belief that witches and dark fairies ate children, and the Grimms were trying to hint that the mom was affiliated with them somehow. To make it slightly less traumatizing for kids, the 1819 edition was altered so that the real mom dies during childbirth and the stepmom was the antagonist, but let's be honest, did that really do any good? Back to the story though, fortunately for Snow White, the huntsman took pity on her and told her to run away to some place that her mom couldn't find her. Meanwhile, he killed a wild boar and brought its lungs and liver to the queen in place of Snow White's. After wandering alone and scared for a while, Snow White finds a tiny little house that for some reason has 7 of everything, from chairs and beds to forks and spoons. The girl helps herself to just a tiny bit of food and wine at each place setting and then passes out in one of the beds, but not before pulling a Goldilocks and trying out each one without bothering to remake it. When the owners of the house, aka the 7 dwarves, come home that night, they find Snow White sleeping, and because she looks so sweet and innocent, they make sure not to disturb her until the morning. The dwarf whose bed she took shared a bed with each of his brothers for an hour that night, so you know he didn't get his REM. And that shit's valuable, so he was making a sacrifice. The next morning, Snow White wakes up to see the dwarves all staring at her, and after recovering from shock, she tells them her story about how she ended up there. They take pity on the poor girl and say that she can live with them for as long as she needs if she promises to make them dinner and keep the place clean. A fair trade, I'd say. Now cut to the evil queen doing her usual morning routine. She asks her magic mirror who is the fairest of them all, and to her horror it responds, "You, my queen, are fair it is true, but little Snow White beyond the 7 mountains is 1,000 times fairer than you." The queen knew that no one lived beyond the mountains except for the 7 dwarves, so it must have been them who rescued her daughter. The evil queen then vowed that Snow White would die even if it killed her in the process, and what follows are her 3 attempts at murdering her. The first time she goes to the dwarf's house disguised as an old peddler woman selling lace, and when Snow White buys some, she offers to lace her up properly. Back when I first talked about this, I just assumed she was referring to a corset of some sort, but after doing some more research, I found out that she was talking about Snow White's bodice, or vest. Well, she ends up lacing it too tight, causing Snow White to pass out from a lack of oxygen, and she runs away. Luckily, the dwarves come back, find the unconscious 7-year-old, cut her laces so she can breathe again, and she wakes up. The next day, the queen learns that Snow White survived, so she disguises herself differently and travels to the cabin with a poisoned comb. At first, Snow White said she couldn't let anyone in, but then she saw the comb, and, well, it was a really nice comb. She let the mysterious stranger brush her hair with it, and she passed out immediately, but once again that night, the dwarves came back and pulled it from her head, saving her life. Now, on the 3rd day, when the queen found out Snow White still wasn't dead, she was furious beyond belief. She decided she needed a plan that was absolutely foolproof and crafted a poison apple. She disguised herself again and went back, but this time Snow White said she couldn't buy anything or let anyone inside because the dwarves would be mad at her. Note that she didn't say it was because someone was out there trying to kill her and that she almost died twice in the past 2 days. Nah, it's because the dwarves would be mad at her. 7-year-olds are funny. The queen was a tricksy one though. She only poisoned half the apple, so she took a bite out of the safe side to convince Snow White that it was okay, then handed it to her through the window at no charge. But barely a moment after the apple touched the girl's lips, she fell dead. The 7 dwarves came home and found Snow White's dead bod, but this time they couldn't find a way to save her. Still, the girl didn't look dead, so they didn't want to bury her. Instead, they stored her in a glass coffin inside their house to keep her safe. Now fast forward a few years to when a prince comes to the dwarves seeking shelter, sees Snow White's dead bod, and insists that they give her to him. He said she was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen, and if they gave her to him, he'd look at her every single day and make sure she was taken care of. At first, they thought he was a freak and said no, but he wouldn't stop begging, so eventually they took pity on him and said, "Fine, Take her, you weirdo. But the prince kept his word. He spent every minute with Snow White's body that he could. He had all of his meals with her and would get extremely sad on the rare occasion he had to leave her. This next part is my favorite though. After a while, the servants got sick and tired of hauling the casket around just so he didn't have to be separated from the corpse that he was weirdly obsessed with. So one of the servants opened up the coffin, propped up Snow White, and took out his frustration by smacking her in the back. This caused the piece of poison apple to become dislodged from her throat, and she woke up just like that. I can't help but wonder if the servant ever came clean to the prince about how exactly he saved her. Because the prince would no doubt have some questions, but if the servant told him the truth, I would have to imagine the prince would be pretty pissed off. I mean, he punched her in the back. How would he explain that without sounding like an asshole? Anyway, the prince and Snow White had their first dinner that same night and agreed to marry the next day. Another interesting and odd note, in an unpublished draft of the story, Snow White was saved in a different way. In that one, it's her father who finds her coffin, and he orders his royal physicians to revive her by tying her body to ropes connected to the four corners of the room. I can't say for certain, but I'm assuming they changed it because that doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah. In an effort to make the story more kid-friendly, in later editions, like the one we talked about in my original Snow White video, she's saved because either the prince or servant carrying her coffin tripped, jolting her and dislodging the apple from her throat. I still love the servant smacking her though, just because it's so ridiculous to think he would do that to a little girl who's 10 years old at most. It seems like something straight out of Monty Python. Anyway, the following morning, Snow White's mother went to the magic mirror for her daily ego boost, but was shocked to hear that the young queen was now the fairest in the land. Note that it didn't say Snow White, so she didn't know who it was referring to. Out of jealousy and anger, the evil queen went to the young queen's wedding just to get a good look at her face and almost died of shock when she saw that her daughter was standing at the altar, years after she thought she killed her. It's too bad she didn't die from shock though, because to punish her for her wicked ways, the new king and queen forced her to put on red-hot iron shoes and dance until she died. Ouch. Call me a sick f*** if you must, but I think my favorite part of these old fairy tales is finding out how the villain gets punished for their evil deeds. It's always so gruesome, but then you remember all the horrible things that character did, and you're like, well, sounds fair. But now that we've gone over the Snow White story in its truest form, it's time we take a look at a story from hundreds of years prior that likely helped the Grimms write their own version.
A young slave.
So like I said, the Snow White story was a Grimm Brothers original, but that doesn't mean they didn't take some inspiration from other fairy tales. Unfortunately, we don't know which ones because all of their manuscripts have been either lost or destroyed, but there are other stories that follow a similar format and are believed to have been referenced by the Grimms. That format being the heroine's expulsion from home, the various threats on her life culminating with apparent death, and her rescue and reawakening. There's one story in particular that follows this structure that experts also believe was one of the Grimm sources because it was written almost 200 years prior, and that is The Young Slave, one of the many stories featured in Giambattista Basile's Pentamerone collection. It's a pretty interesting one too, because it seems to have elements from several famous princess stories, including Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. Basically what happens is a girl gets pregnant after swallowing a rose petal, and an angry fairy curses her child to die at the age of 7. You see, she was actually on her way to give the child a blessing after she was born, but she tripped and hurt her ankle, so she cursed her instead. While the 7 years go by, the girl, whose name is Lisa, is killed when her mom is combing her hair and the comb's teeth penetrate her skull, and instead of being buried, she's placed inside of 7 crystal coffins. Don't ask me why, but I'm sure you already see the numerous similarities with Snow White. Lisa's mom ends up dying soon after this, and her uncle, who I'm calling Larry, is left to look over her body. The years go by, Lisa stays dead, but continues to grow, as well as the casket somehow, and eventually Larry gets married, but in true fairy tale fashion, his new wife is a total You see, when Larry is out of town on a hunting trip, his wife, who we'll call Dolores, discovers Lisa in a room of the house she had never been in. And because Lisa had continued to age while dead, she thought she was her husband's mistress who was just sleeping. She pulled Lisa out of the casket, knocking the comb from her hair and causing her to wake up, but Dolores didn't exactly give her a warm welcome back to the mortal plane. She cut off her hair, made her put on tattered clothes, and beat her face until she was unrecognizable. As a result of this, when Lisa's uncle returned from his hunting trip the next day, Dolores told him that Lisa was a slave she was sent as a gift, and because he didn't recognize her, he believed her. Unlike his wife though, Larry treated Lisa with respect, and on one occasion he even gave her a doll as a gift. And it's a good thing he did, because one day Larry overhears Lisa telling the doll her life story while sharpening a knife, and threatening to kill herself if it didn't respond. In other words, she was losing it. While Larry ends up bursting through the door, he has Lisa retell her life story so he can confirm that it's really her, and when he knows for sure, he sends her away to live with some relatives for a few weeks to recover. When she returns, looking as beautiful as ever, he throws a banquet for her, has her tell her life story to the guests who are all weeping by the end of it, and then he dumps his wife in front of everybody. The cherry on top is that he sets Lisa up with a handsome gentleman of her choice, and everyone lives happily ever after. Another gruesome tale, another happy ending. Now, in addition to the similarities in structure I mentioned before starting the story, you may have also noticed that it provides answers to two specific questions people always have when they hear about the original Snow White. One, if she fell unconscious when she was 7, then how long was she in the casket for so that she was old enough to get married when she woke up? And 2, if she did indeed age and grow during those years in the casket, how did she continue to fit? Well, in The Young Slave, it specifically says that Lisa grew and aged while unconscious, and that the casket, for whatever reason, grew with her. I actually don't have anything that I'm building up to by making that point, I just thought it was interesting. Now, The Young Slave is obviously not the only story that influenced the Grimm's writing, but unfortunately, because of the lost manuscripts, it's one of the only ones we can reliably connect to it. Many of the other stories in Snow White's tale type, ATU 709, appropriately called Snow White, weren't published until the Grimms released their collection. That doesn't mean those same tales weren't shared orally before Snow White was written. In fact, many of them were. It's just that there's no written record of their existence prior. We've been here for a while, so I'll wait to break those down until a future episode. For now, I just want to know your thoughts on what you heard today. Which rendition of Snow White did you like best? And what details did you find to be the most messed up? Let me know your thoughts in a comment down below. And when you're done, make sure to hit that like button like it's a 10-year-old girl whose casket you've had to haul around all day. If someone heard that line without context, I'm pretty sure they'd think I'm a psychopath. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the Solo fam and get content like this delivered to your sub box on a weekly basis. And follow me on social media because I'm in desperate need of validation from strangers. That's why I'm a YouTuber. Gunther needs it too, so if you want to see this adorable mush face on your timeline, give him a follow on Instagram. And don't worry, I won't be offended if you only follow him and not me. I am fully aware that he is the handsome one. I'll be seeing you guys next week with a special holiday themed episode of Messed Up Origins. Until then, my name is John Solo, and remember, John shot first.
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. No, I already know the thingy about Snow White and Cinderella. The Little Mermaid one is actually really tough. Yes! Yes! Man, I miss takoyaki. I miss eating baby octopus takoyaki. I miss that one takoyaki that I always buy. I miss it so much. It can never replace, man. It can never replace. Been looking for a year and I didn't. That's the 2 pesos takoyaki. No! And I'm takoyaki. When I move out and I went to a new area now or something like that, I will try their takoyaki next. What is that? What is that, by the way? The one that they're putting. What is it called? I forgot what it's called. Can you guys tell me what is it? Because I kinda don't like those. Crab sticks? That's crab sticks? That doesn't look like crab sticks, it looks like a freaking vegetable. Pickled ginger? Hi, Pipi! Hi, Pipi! Yeah, I think I hate it. I don't really like pickled ginger. That doesn't look like carrots. I think it's ginger. And I want some takoyaki. Look at that. Look at that. Na-miss ko na kaya si Speed. As nakita namin, tagal na. Kasi ba CC? Nope. Whenever there's a CC, it's automatic. Yes! My favorite. My favorite. Hell yeah. I miss eating the takoyaki that I always eat before. My god. I miss it so much. And look at all those baby takoyaki. So good. It's so good. Oh. Toast. Post a takoyaki video every now and then. Or she will never get that. Fuck you! Fuck you! I'm grieving for a year now, okay? Ever since they closed. And they message me. They're permanently closed. They're gone. But their app is still there. It's just that they're gone. They're just gone, gonzo. Namiss ko na yung takoyaki nyo, kuya. Miss ko na talaga. Careful if you didn't buy enough. They literally just like, you know, when it's like New Year, they were like literally, sorry, we're closed at the moment, and then they just didn't open anymore. Tragedy. You should have begged them for their recipe. Oh, you know, you're right. Wish I could just message them right now. Ask them like, hello, I really missed your takoyaki. Is there a way to know your recipe? They graduated? No! Oh my god, it's torch pa! Oh god, this is like my takoyaki! I'm actually serious. They have torch cheese. This is nostalgia. This is giving me so much. I'm crying because I want to eat the takoyaki again. It's so good before. I can never. It's been a year, and I never see it. I never like eaten any that is like as good as that. I'm so sad. Just like my takoyaki. Holy sh! I'm hungry. You guys have no idea how I'm that I want that takoyaki. My god, it's just like my takoyaki. The difference is that my takoyaki that I buy is full, like full on circle takoyaki. Not the half one. Gato gozaimasu. Gusto ko rin yan. Penge. Kashimasu. Penge. Gusto ko rin yan. Minus the pickled ginger. Gusto ko rin yan. Gusto ko rin ng takoyaki. Sana all. Hindi ako makakabili ng takoyaki ngayon eh. I'm broke right now. I'm still saving up for my moving out funds. I can't go out. Can I eat it? Can I eat it? Can I eat it? Ah, 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 ah. I just wanna eat that. Wow, it's all food now. Finally. Gutom ka na ba, Mi? Bili ka. I can't. I only eat once per day na. I'm into intermittent fasting, and then I just drink lemonade. The lemonade that I got, the warm ginger honey lemonade is actually there's like a takoyaki cake. Oh my god, I would definitely take a takoyaki platter than a cake. Most definitely gonna get a takoyaki platter than a cake. I'm telling you. Tell you guys. If you guys gonna give me a cake, at least give me a takoyaki platter na lang instead. Real. Yeah, see? Di ako mauumay. True. And I can finish it really quick. That's true. If anyone even tried to buy me a cake like fucking Cosmania, I suggest a takoyaki platter instead. Oh yeah, I'm telling you guys, in what do you call this one? I feel like in Conquest I might need an assistant, okay? Pac helping me in Conquest actually helped me so much. Cause there might be a meet and greet, and I might need might need to have someone put man my boot while I'm gone. Takoyaki platter, then you right, May. Happy birthday, Michama with Mayo. Oh, yo! I would actually accept that. Man, I love takoyaki. Is there a takoyaki platter in MOA? I don't know. We're going in Conquest. In case na I went to I'm going to what's it called? In case I'm going to a meet and greet, and no one's gonna man my booth, then I suggest to have an assistant. Kaak best girl, I know. That looks nice. That looks so nice. You need an elegant for the day. True. Just someone to man my boot while I'm gone. That looks so cute. I would eat that. Man, look at that cheesecake. That mousse cake, so cute. What are those fountain? Peach. Peach. I love peach. I like peach. Really cool fruit. So cute. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Oh, that looks so jiggly. Oh, that's so good. That looks so good. Oh, look at that with the jelly. That looks good. No, you're ruining it. No. Cut that slice first. What if we give you a takoyaki platter but it's in the mushroom? No, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? Don't ever do that. No, 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 no. Don't put the takoyaki in the freaking smoothie. Like, jeez. Looks so cute.
Enjoy cooking.
Enjoy cooking. It looks so cute. The quest to build a 4D Rubik's Cube. Fuck.
The Rubik's Cube was invented in 1974 by Professor Erno Rubik, and since then, many other types of twisty puzzles have been made. But back in 1988, a computer program called Magic Cube 4D.
Wait lang, this is 26 minutes long and I only have 30 minutes. Kinda don't want this to my last video. Not gonna lie. I'm so sorry. I cannot. I cannot, okay? I'm so sorry.
Why can't orphans play baseball? Why? They don't know where home is.
What's similar between a pregnant 14-year-old and the fetus inside her?
What?
They're both thinking, oh shit, my mom is gonna kill me.
Oh shit!
I'll never forget my granddad's last words before he died.
What were they?
Are you still holding the letter?
What is the one good thing about child molesters?
What?
Next YouTube night? Yeah.
They drive slowly through school zones.
A man walked into a library and asked for a book on how to commit suicide. The librarian said, fuck off. You're not gonna bring it back.
Okay.
What part of the vegetable can you not eat?
What?
The wheelchair.
Why are Americans bad chess players?
Why?
They lost 2 towers. What's the difference between Hitler and Usain Bolt? I don't know. Usain Bolt can actually finish a race.
That was really good. So, a kid walks into the room and asks his mom, "What's dark humor?" And the mom says, "You see that man without arms over there? Tell him to clap." The kid says, "Mom, I'm blind." Mom says, "Exactly."
You're out. My kid asked me, did Jesus die a virgin? I told him no. He got nailed before he died. Every zodiac sign has a haircut, except Cancers.
That's good. That's
Why
good.
is it illegal to do reverse cowgirl in Alabama?
Why?
You don't turn your back on family.
Those poor kids at Sandy Hook, all they wanted was books. They got magazines instead.
Broccoli is like anal sex. If you're forced to have it as a kid, you won't like it as an adult.
Find the roleplays 5. Welcome to the spot spirit. Wow, wow, thank you.
Neither have they.
Whoa!
I was at the park earlier. Another parent came up to me and said, "Hey, which one's yours?" I said, "I don't know. I'm still choosing."
Thank you for the
I went to the store to buy some condoms. I went to check out. The lady asked me, do I need a paper bag? I said, no, I'll just turn off the lights. Dark humor jokes. Loser has to take a shot of vodka. Let's go. My family is a treasure. You need a shovel and a map to find them.
What do the Twin Towers and genders have in common?
Uh-oh.
What?
There were 2 of each when I was growing up, too.
Why do orphans play tennis? Because it's the only place they can find love.
This little kid asked me, how do stars die? I said they usually overdose.
Oh my god.
Take your shots, you loser.
What do depressed people and sloths have in common? What? Hanging from a tree. What's the best part about an ISIS joke? The execution.
Thank you so much for the follow. Victor Gab 2009. Welcome to the spot spirit. Wow, wow, thank you.
He put his finger in the wrong minor.
Oh no!
What's plastic and gets turned on by a little kid? Michael Jackson.
So, little girl walks up to her dad and says, her dad says, "We donated all your presents to the orphanage." And she says,
Tubig yung
"Why?"
nasa bibig sa
So
dulo
you'll
nila
have something
talo.
to
Yep,
play with when you
because
get
they
there.
laugh.
A priest and a rabbi was leaving a burning church. The priest goes, "What about the children?" The rabbi says, "Fuck the children." The priest says, "Do we have time for that?"
My girlfriend dumped me, so I stole a wheelchair. Guess who came crawling back?
What do you call a gay person on fire?
What?
LGBTQ.
What do you call the large tube of lube in Alabama?
What?
I'm a
Family
snip
size.
the plant of your no! No! No, not my plant. I'm gonna die. Next one. Why bonsai
The secret to
scissors
making
cost
some of the best bonsai scissors
$26,000?
in the world lies in learning how to forge samurai swords.
まあ日本刀の作り方と同じよう
Oh,
な
sorry.
あれです。日本の感性が入って
Hirakawa Yasuhiro is one of the only blacksmiths in Japan who still makes these scissors using methods that date back to the 5th century. Professional gardeners are willing to pay thousands and wait a whole year to get their hands on a pair.
この時のこの取れるにはこの音を取ってほしい。これがものすごく切れる音やね。
Yasuhiro's family workshop, Sasuke, has been around for 155 years, but he worries it may end with him.
このこんな道具のっていうのに目を向けてくれる人が出てくるように、私もハサミを工具的なものよりも伝統美術品に。
We went to Sakai, Japan to see how this bonsai scissor making craft is still standing. Yasuhiro's family business is one of the last in Sakai that specializes in bonsai scissors in addition to knives.
私はここの家で生まれて、もう自然とここでもう生まれてだったから自然となったみたいですね。
Like knives, these scissors start with a small piece of metal. Yasuhiro cuts it down to about 10 centimeters. He uses Japanese Yasugi steel because it's more durable and helps the blade stay sharp. He starts with a softer kind to make the handle and the base of the blade. He heats the metal in an old wood-burning furnace instead of a modern gas burner because he believes the heat is more concentrated that way. It takes about an hour for it to reach the perfect temperature.
もう赤くなったら柔らかくなるからこのハンマーで叩ける。
Yasuhiro starts with a power hammer to stretch it. Then he switches to a manual one to perfect the round shape of the handle.
肉体的にっていうよりも叩いてたら気持ちがいいんでね、もう自分が一体になれるんですよ。もう自分の体のように土が動くんで。
To make the blade, he forges a hard piece of steel over the softer base he started with. This is called forge welding. It's one of the oldest and most essential skills in blacksmithing. Yasuhiro uses powdered borax and iron oxide to bind them and help prevent oxidation. He heats the metal once more and hammers it again to flatten it into the shape of a blade. These short taps at a low temperature make the particles finer and smaller, and the metal denser and stronger. Slowly, it'll start looking like scissors. Yasuhiro files the handle to make it slightly rough and uneven. This will help people keep a tight grip on them. He uses this mold to bend the handle into its signature butterfly shape.
だから見た目にも綺麗やし、やっぱり西洋とは違う。
He files a straight line onto the blade to complete the signature Sasuke look.
Sasuke look? Sasuke.
The most crucial part is a technique called quenching. Yasuhiro heats the blade one last time at 780 degrees Celsius. He can tell it's the right temperature just by looking at the color of the fire. Then he immediately submerges it in water. The sudden change in temperature will harden the blade. He prefers to do it in the morning before the sun is up.
暗い方がよう見えるんでね。でこれで今こんな色なんですよ。で、これ硬くなるんです。こういう。
If done incorrectly, the metal can turn brittle. Today, he's the only person in his family who's mastered all of the steps, and he often works alone. He buffs the scissors to make them smooth. Yasuhiro says this can be exhausting.
でそのさっき言った調子を出したりするのがものすごい苦労します。
Man, I feel so
それももうどうしたらうまく切れるやろ、誰が使っても切れるやろっていうのにそこに神経がかかる。
Both sides have to fit perfectly together.
こういう動きが ペタッとこう二次元の動きはなしに横の動き。
Bonsai scissors have to be as sharp as a razor to make precise, clean cuts.
まあ日本刀の時も習ってきて。
It can take him a month to make one pair, but it can last a lifetime. Yasuhiro also repairs scissors that are more than 100 years old.
これでもう完成です。
What did I do?
うまくできました。調子もいいです。調子もいいし、形も。
Thank you so much for the follow. Up your star. Welcome to this Bronx Field. Wow.
The city of Sakai has been famous for its metalwork since the 5th century. People from across the country would come here looking for knives, swords, and even guns. Yasuhiro himself comes from a long line of blacksmiths spanning 22 generations. But it was his great-great-grandfather, Satajiro, who made scissors the focus of the family business in 1867. And when Yasuhiro took it over in the late 60s, he was determined to grow the business.
だからまあ私はまあ若い時のサスケ世界一にするっていうのを思ってたけども、やっぱり残すのにはどうしたらいいかっていうのは今まだ考えなあかんとこやと思います。
But it wasn't always easy to find new customers.
ほとんどがもうね、ハサミもほとんど全部もう機械になってしまう。まあ最初はなかなかね、定着はっていうのはまあ難しかったような感じですね。だけどまあずんずん切れ味がいいっていうのが認められて。
Today, Yasuhiro is one of the few people in the country making such high-quality scissors. Bonsai specialist Yoshikawa Masakazu was willing to wait a year to get his hands on a pair.
どうでしょうかね。植物が一番よく分かってますね。いいハサミと悪いハサミ。悪いハサミを使って切ればやっぱりストレスがあるみたいなんで、この葉っぱのところがちょっと傷むっていうかね、ちょっと。
Without clean cuts, needles can turn brown and branches can wither. And sometimes bad blades can stop small buds from growing.
サスケさんのハサミを使ったらその芽が吹きやすいんです。
Using good scissors is also essential for Masakazu because bonsai are an important symbol in Japanese Zen Buddhism.
日本の人の心の穏やかさをいかに究極に求めていくかっていうのはこの盆栽に宿ってるかなと思いますね。
Yasuhiro says he's always learning from his customers.
今でもまだ材質的なことで植木屋さんがもうちょっと強力で強いものを作らないかっていう提案もあるんで、だから材質もずっとやっぱりまあ研究してるんで、同じハサミ作ったことないんですよ。
He's most proud of this $26,000 pair that took him 3 years to make and is decorated with gold.
3 years?
He dreams of making another similar one, coated with a wine red lacquer. But it would take him at least 4 years, and orders keep piling up.
その自分の思いのもの、私ももう71やからもうあと10年できるかどうかわからないでしょ。で、作るのがいっぱいあってもだいたい間に合わない。
People can order custom scissors online or visit his workshop in person. But there may not be another successor to the brand.
Damn.
Yasuhiro has 2 sons, but he isn't sure they'll follow in his footsteps.
Aww.
今はちょっと手伝ってくれてます。できるんですよ。だけどお父さんとの仕事はやっぱり難しいって。だけどまあ私はどうもこうどういう点かやってくれっていうのもあれやけども、まあちょっと自然に待ってますね。
Meanwhile, he carries the responsibility of crafting better scissors on his own.
I don't have a
毎回同
bonsai.
じ次、夜寝て次は明日どういう仕事をするか、次作り方よりもこれがまた頭で考えつくんですね。ハサミ作ってる時はね、ほんまに楽しいっていうんか、楽しいってしゃあないんですよ。
That's nice. That's nice. Next one. No.
This video
Nope,
has been.
nope, it's 43 minutes. Nope. Reverse animal rescue. What do you mean? Ah, what the fuck? No! No! Who said this? What the fuck, frenzy? Okay, back there you go, ducklings. Back there to the second floor. Tapos ilalagay sa... No! Why you leaving? Why are you moonwalking? That's right, that's where you belong, dolphin. That's where you belong. In the sand. Where are you gonna put him? Where are you guys gonna put him? No! No, the dog! Don't put him in the water! No, I've been watching him! That's on him. That's a collection. Wow. Whoa! No! 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 Why are you putting it in there? Not the dog. Not the dog. Oh, we should leave her. We should leave her. No! No! Don't go! Don't go! No! She got it. Stop animal those people.
Hello, first time here. My friend told me this is chill. Yes. In this stream, we are vegetarian. Eat fruit. Anime diamond! Diamond! Big! I leave those. Hello, first time here. My friend told me this is chill. Yes. In this stream, we are vegetarian. Eat fruit.
Soul Hackers. Oh, this is 16 minutes. But I actually wanna watch this. So maybe next YouTube night, okay? Is there anything that is like less than 10 minutes? There you go. Probably this is the last video.
Hey guys, had a bad day? Well, could be worse. You could be living in a world without modern anesthetic. Today, we'll be talking about some surgical procedures carried out long before the development of medicine as we know it today. Now, once you go back a certain distance, the line between operation and mutilation is pretty thin. So, for our purposes, surgery refers to any bodily manipulation carried out with the intent of fixing some injury or illness. And away we go. The very first surgery that we have historical evidence for dates as far back as 6500 BC. It's called trepanning, which is a nice word for carving someone's frickin' skull open using nothing but a rock. Maybe a rock on a stick if you were lucky. In all seriousness though, you can see that a good deal of care went into the procedure, which lets us know that this isn't just the result of random injury. Many skulls even showed signs of healing around the holes, meaning plenty of the people who underwent this whole thing just got up and went about their day afterwards. Alright, hold on, you say. This all sounds
Work again
guano insane.
when Joe's
No way
streaming
this
again,
was
so
that common
yeah.
of an occurrence. Well, friend, if you've been watching this channel long enough, you should know that if you give human beings the benefit of the doubt, chances are they'll prove you wrong. In fact, so far, over 1,500 trepanned skulls have been dug up all across the globe, from Europe to China and even the Americas. This means that between 5 and 10% of all skulls that we've found from the Neolithic period have had at least one man-made hole scraped into them. To put it this way, based on that data, there's a greater probability of someone born in the late Stone Age having their brain matter exposed by some shaman with a chunk of flint than someone born in the USA being a redhead. To this day, nobody really knows why this was such a common practice, but most theories tend to revolve around the idea of releasing some kind of dark supernatural force from the patient. Man, I'm getting real sick of all these evil entities infecting our minds and bodies. Huh, you can say that again. I tell you, I need these demons like I need a hole in the head. No, wait. Fast forward to 600 BC. Over in India, there lived a guy called Maharshi Susruta. Now, this guy was a medical mastermind. He wrote a treatise known as Susruta Samhita, which described countless different conditions, treatments, and yes, even surgeries. One of which is the first recorded instance of rhinoplasty. That means nose job. A hornbill's a type of bird. I'm here too. Anyway, here's how it's done according to Susruta. First, you get them plastered, obviously. Second, you use a leaf to measure out the part of the nose you want fixed. Then, you use the leaf to cut off a flap of skin from the cheek or forehead of the patient. This part's important though. You gotta remember to leave a little piece of it still attached. Otherwise, you just got a chunk of dirty dead face meat on your hands. Now, wherever you're looking to stick the new flesh on, you rub that part raw with a knife. Also, you're gonna want to stick 2 plant stalks in their nostrils so their nose keeps its proper shape. Slap the skin on, suture it, dust it with licorice powder for some reason, and cover it with cotton. Sesame oil should be regularly applied until the skin is fully healed. If you're like me, I already do that by default, so it shouldn't be an issue. Finally, at long last, your sniffer is reborn. Don't worry, you still look like a freak. Just slightly less so. Moving on, our next surgery took place in 10th century Spain on Sancho I of Leon, otherwise known as Sancho the Fat. Now, normally back in the day, having some meat on your bones was a sign of wealth and power and all that, but this guy was like TLC documentary tier, to the point where he could hardly function as a human being. So his constituents said, "Greetings, your thickness. Yeah, you can't be king anymore on account of you keep breaking every horse we give you, and nobody wants to wash between your accordion-like neck folds no more." After his adipose got him deposed, Sancho decided to seek medical help for his condition, under the oversight of well-reputed physician Hasdai ibn Shaprut, which is an anagram for paintbrush aids. Now, if there's one thing that medieval man understood, it's practicality. Lap band, gastric bypass, belly balloon, these all exist to help people who don't have the self-control to stop eating so much on their own. But Dr. Shaprut didn't believe in beating around the bush. He said, well, why don't we just stop the patient from shoving food into his own greasy maw in the first place? And decided to just up and stitch the dude's lips together. After the operation, the only nutrients that Sancho received came through a straw, in the form of a mixture known as thoriaca, which was a complex blend of several herbs, fruits, and seeds, including opium. It was basically the closest thing you could find to lean at the time, and lean he became, losing around half his weight before ascending to the throne once more. So this is the part of the video where I pander to the desires of the audience. If there's one thing I know you internet people can't get enough of, it's things going inside people's eyeballs. Let's talk about cataract surgery. The art of dealing with people's clouded lenses has been around for millennia, believe it or not. That Susruta guy from earlier actually talked about the most common procedure for cataracts for most of civilized history, which is known as the couching method. Couching is done by taking a sharp object like a needle or a thorn and ever so gently stabbing their eye hole at weird angles until the lens moves out of the way. No lasers, no sedatives, no paralytics, just a rusty old pin and some elbow grease, the way God intended. The majority of the time, this operation didn't work, usually just damaging the already blind eye irreparably. Shocker, right? And even if it did go as planned, you still, didn't have a lens in your eye, so you essentially went from, I can't tell if I'm dead or not, to, ah, yes, it is quite yellow out today. By God, something moved somewhere. A slightly more refined version of this operation is the suction method, which dates back to at least the 10th century AD, if not older. This procedure is described as requiring, quote, a large incision in the eye, a hollow needle, and an assistant with an extraordinary lung capacity. Though this reads like the setup to the world's most horrifying party trick, it's actually the bare minimum number of tools needed to completely extract the lens from the eye. In case you didn't pick up on how, here's a diagram. This method generally saw a greater success rate and fewer complications than its non-extracting counterpart, so hopefully you can sleep well tonight knowing that the number of human beings who have sucked a piece of somebody's living eyeball through a straw is above zero. Anywho, let's all just be thankful that we live in an era where procedures like these are a thing of the past. Now remember kids, even though the surgeries I described here do sound pretty easy to pull off, please don't try them at home. But if you do, please put it on LiveLeak afterwards. But you know what you can do at home? Learn stuff about things with Brilliant.org. Brilliant's elegant UI and step-by-step design.
Brilliant.org. Okay, so it's almost 12 o'clock, meaning we're gonna end the stream. I am needed to heal my freaking throat now, so thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm really sorry that I can't really talk too much or something like that because I'm trying to heal my throat from coughing, and I don't really want to cough that much. But so we will see though. We will see. I'm already like getting my meds now, and I'm drinking a lot of lemonades nowadays. So that's good. That's good. So thank you guys so much though for watching the stream. Awesome, everyone. Awesome me. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Let me see who to raid first. Let me see. Let me see who to raid. Stop drinking cold water. I'm not drinking cold water. I'm drinking a fucking warm honey ginger lemonade nowadays. Okay? Raiden. Yoshi's online. Playing League. Playing League or is he playing Valorant? I'm a raid Doshi. Arat League. I'm gonna take a break though. Like clearly like gonna go to bed first and then take a shower and all that. So yeah. And then Joe stream. Yay. So yeah. Raid Doshi. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Awesome everyone. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much. I'm dying now, but I'll do my best not to die. So yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we're raiding Doshi. Hopefully sorry. Hopefully we're okay. Yes. Yeah. Bye everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye everyone. Good night. Night everyone. Hotdog kayo. Good night.